Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grim Dawn and to our Ice King Mystic. Oh boy, how things have changed. So last stream, I did a little, well, not so little, farming session, which unfortunately didn't yield the result that I was looking for. I was trying to get the blueprint for our Ice King, specifically the blueprint for the helmet. Didn't get it. And yet, we have full Ice King. So towards the end of that stream, or I guess after the farming session, I decided I'm gonna have to improvise, and we crafted, or rather re-rolled a bunch of set pieces from other sets into Ice King. It was very expensive. It cost us a whole bunch of very rare resources, but we got there. Now, in addition to that, I already had a whole bunch of green items, our ring, our shoulders, our belt, and our pants, saved up in my stash. They didn't have the right affixes, so we rewrote all of that and, assembled our build with the right components and whatever augments we have currently available. I also crafted my relic. As you can see, I then, after stream, did a whole bunch of additional crafting because we didn't quite get the right completion bonus. There is a grand total of 2 relic completion bonuses for this build that work for us. Either +1 to Werewolf and +1 to Rallying Cry, which is the one that I have right now. Or there is it this one? No. There is one with +1 to Heart of Asterkarn and +1 to Winds of Asterkarn. Sorry, no. +1 to Rallying Cry and +1 to Blood Chilling Cry. So I ended up on this one. The one that we got on the first try is Heart of Asterkarn and Winds of Asterkarn, so it's only halfway useful. And even the 1 extra point to Heart of Asterkarn isn't really helping us reach a specific breakpoint, because with that +1 level, our offensive ability here still stays 16%. So it wasn't optimal. So off stream, I did a whole bunch of crafting, and for that I had to do a whole bunch of farming, because these, to craft them, require not only the Kilrian's Shattered Soul, but also a whole bunch of Frozen Aster. Which I guess I should mention. Frozen Aster is a very in-demand material in Fangs of Asterkarn, and it's kind of hard to get. The best place that I found, well, I'm not gonna take credit for this, somebody posted it online as a good farming route. If you're looking for Frozen Aster, which isn't just useful on its own, but it is also, it can be converted in a ratio 10:1 into aspects of Baronath, which are required for a whole bunch of legendary helmets, blueprints, as well as for applying ascended affixes, which, by the way, we still don't have any. The route where you can farm Frozen Aster effortlessly is you go to Frail Valley and you just go northeast-ish. There is one spot, I'm gonna kill these while I'm here. There is one that spawns here. These don't always drop Frozen Aster. They can drop anywhere from 0 to 2. So it's not entirely reliable, it's RNG. There can be another spawn point here, we didn't get it. And then, if you go straight north, avoid this camp that's barred, because there's just enemies that you don't need to fight. There can be another one spawning here, we didn't get it. Up in here you can meet Ingron Worldbreaker, who has a 8% chance to drop aspects of Baronath. There can be another Frozen Aster here, we didn't get it. And then another up here. Okay, so we only got one. Sometimes I walk away from this route with like 5 or 6 in my inventory, sometimes I don't get any, so like, it's not reliable, but it's effortless. It doesn't really, there's no danger here. So that's one thing. I'm gonna go back. Hopefully I'm not dying while I'm doing this. So I did a whole bunch of that, and also decided, since we were pretty successful in our rerolls of some of our items, we managed to get a double rare belt. We also managed to get a double rare ring, And so I decided, you know what, I have some Ashes of Awakening, I can do some rerolling. And so I decided off stream to also reroll my shoulders, my pants and my gloves into double rare. So now everything that we have is double rare. It is kind of bricked in a way. Like if I now want to reroll my pants, it costs 5 Ashes of Awakening because I rerolled them 11 times already. So when we now try to craft an Ascended Affix onto them, it's gonna be difficult to reroll it because all of these rerolls are shared. The stats rerolls aren't. If you just want to reroll the RNG on the numbers, that still costs only 1. But affixes, prefixes, and Ascended Affixes, those will share their cost. So sometimes it's better to just start from scratch with a new item. I also, because of how lucky we got in terms of affixes, realized that I no longer need to hunt down the blacksmith in Ashes of Malmouth. Now, I was claiming the whole time we don't have the right blacksmith yet, I need the one in Ashes of Malmouth, because the blacksmith in Ashes of Malmouth can give you some crowd control resistances, specifically freezing resistance and stun resistance, which were supposed to be the weak point of our build. That is no longer the case. Because of the rolls that we got on our prefixes and suffixes on the greens, our stun is now 60 over, our freeze is 14 over. We are set. And so, a decision that I made in the very second stream that I made came to pay off. And that is Angrim. So, up in Burwich Outskirts, you get a quest to rescue a blacksmith. Find Angrim, and you can choose. Either you pick Angrim, or you pick Duncan. Now, I just picked Angrim, thinking, well, I don't quite remember what he does, but I think he's slightly better. Oh boy, was I wrong. He is so much better. So both Angrim and Duncan, when you look at the crafting bonuses in the bottom left, both of them have +2 to 4% physique crafting bonus. That is shared between them. That's where the similarities end. Duncan would give us a tiny bit of energy regen, or he could give us a small amount of defensive ability. But Angrim can give us, firstly, pierce resistance, which is going to end up our weakest resistance, the least overcapped, so that can be handy. But more importantly, 2 to 4 increased armor, which, you know, that's our physical defense, or part of it. So I decided, even though I spent a whole bunch of resources rolling a pretty good set of gloves back in Forgotten Gods, I decided to recraft them here. So this is a whole new pair, and we got pretty good stuff, Resonant of Rapid Reflexes, so again, double rare. And I also recrafted our Overseer, so now it has 3% armor on it, and I also recrafted the ring. The only piece that we're currently missing is we still don't have the blueprint for our Ice King. I do still want to get that because I want to craft this helmet so that I can get this crafting bonus onto it. It's not a big deal, it's just, you know, 2 to 4% armor or 2 to 4% physique, but every little bit helps. It's not gonna break our build, it's not gonna make our build, but it's helpful. The second piece that we're missing, after I've crafted a whole bunch of these relics and got the right one, is the boots. Now, in my original build, I was planning to use Galewind Treads, but I realized now with the ability to reroll affixes, it's actually much easier to get green boots with the affixes you want. And those will almost always be better than random legendary, unless you really need the skill points that the legendary has on it. So, I'm going to also now craft our boots, because there's nothing we can do to get Galewind Treads. They just have to drop for us randomly. We cannot craft them, we cannot target farm them, it's just luck of the row. So I would basically be stuck on these for the foreseeable future, unless I want to GD stash the right boots. But why would I do that when I can just craft our little stone plates, which just so happen to also give us some physical resistance. Currently we cannot equip them because I invested too little in physique. That's why I have a tonic of reshaping prepared here. We're gonna readjust our stats. So I want to get Stoneplate Greaves, because they give us physical resistance. Also some Pierce, which helps, and we can get much better affixes on them than we would get on the just average Galewind thread. We want Rune Carved, ideally, but that's not necessary on the prefix, but we want the, Corrupted Peaks suffix. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. We're also, again, going to be crafting it with Angrim, so that we can get, hopefully, the armor or the physique. Either one is good. We wouldn't even scoff at the Pierce resistance, but it's the least desirable option here. So I'm going to craft a bunch of these. And if we see the right combination... I mean, Rime Frost isn't terrible, so this could be an option. But primarily, I will be looking at the affix, looking for Corrupted Peaks. It's Prowess, Thorns. I'll create a bunch of these anyway, even if we get something decent, because there's a chance that we brick them while we reroll them. And the things that I'm no longer really looking for them to fix our resistances, because our resistances are going to be fine. The main thing that I'm looking for on them is increased health. Survivalists, I mean, there's no percent damage on them, but we could use this. Mystic of Voidfire. I'm gonna craft the whole inventory tab and then see what the best ones are. Protection. Maven's Wit, that's a whole bunch of spirit, right? But wrong damage typing. Devastating of the Void. Winter Storm, that could work. I mean, it doesn't have the health that we're after. Shroud of Maven's Wit. Frostbite, there are some decent ones. The Wolf. Protection. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. Take a look at what the best ones are. Sell the rest.
Have you found any
not you. So, survivalists. There's some health on them, but otherwise... There's percent health and flat health, so these could be potentially useful. Rime Frost also isn't terrible. Impervious of Voidfire, that's bad. Right? Yeah. Renegade of Prowess. No, no. Stalwart of Blight, Mystic of Voidfire, Warding of the Wild. We don't care about the pet bonuses that much. Mage Storm is the wrong damage type. Survivalist of Haste, so that's second survivalist. Renegade of Attack, those are bad. These were the decent ones. Shoot of Featherstep. We don't really worry about entrapment. Devastating is bad. Seraphim, that's a decent prefix, but not for this build. But off Frostbite. Frostbite is, let me just alt tab and check. Frostbite is a rare or a common? Or magic, I mean. Frostbite is... It's a common one, so those are double common. So I don't care. Ideally, we'd want to keep rare prefixes or rare suffixes, because those will, as far as I know, they will not roll down. If you have a rare prefix or suffix and you keep rerolling it, it will stay rare. So that will limit the range of options that we have to roll into. Consecrated, we don't care. Prismatic of the Winter Storm could be an option. No. Maven's Wit isn't even great. Let me just check what exactly it does, but Maven's Wit. Every time I have to alt tab out or click out, unfortunately the game doesn't have like play in the background, so the audio will cut off. Maven's Wit can be usable, but it's the wrong damage type. It is a rare, but... Nah, I'm not gonna use Maven's Wit. Menacing of Ruin, not good enough. Yeah, not good enough. Shroud of Maven's Wit, also no. Actually, maybe I should keep some of the rare suffixes, because the rare The suffix is what I'm looking for, and that one is rare. I want the corrupted peaks. So I might keep some rare suffixes. Of the wolf is bad. The wild, no. Corrosion. Protection. Okay, so we're gonna stick with these and see what we can roll into. How much money do I have? Not much. I think I might have to go to Forgotten Gods. Make an exchange of money. We are burning through a lot of resources doing this, so I'm gonna have to do some farming to make up for how much this character has eaten up from my generational wealth, so to speak. Let's say 5 mil. We're gonna run out of Ashes of Awakening anyway before we spend that much money on the rerolls. So, looking for corrupted peaks primarily. Which ones have the worst suffix that I can get rid of? Probably the Amarastos Flurry. Yeah, let's start with these. So we want to reroll the suffix. Shattered Reality. I wish their item stayed displayed, so you don't have to mouse over it every time. Okay, it's already taking 2, so I'm gonna stop here. Try this suffix. So of the fox, we would have to reroll it into a rare, which is not as likely. Of blades. Okay, so we rolled a rare. Now we cannot lose it. So Rhymefrost of Blades. What does Blades do? Blades is piercing damage. No. Health, elemental resistance, armor, and retaliation. There is the health, which I guess isn't terrible. So we could keep these in reserve if we get nothing better. I'm gonna get rid of this. These are bad enough that I might not even want to reroll them, because that's both affixes are bad. Okay, let's see what happens with these. Again, suffix. I'm gonna run out of Arcane Winds. What do Arcane Winds do? Arcane Winds, Spirit, Aether, Elemental, and Slow. That's not good. But now they stay double rare. Nature's Bounty. Ah, that's a regen, right? Nature's Bounty. It is health, chaos, elemental res. Okay, these can be also an option. They're not ideal, but we can stick with them if we don't get anything better. Okay, here again rerolling suffixes. The Survivalist, what does that do? Is that a bad starter? Survivalist. Prefix is flat health, percent health, defensive ability, slow resistance. Hey, that's not bad. It's purely defensive, but it's better than nothing. Ah, immediately double rare. Of survival. Survivalists of survival. Cool. What does survival do? Exactly. Physique, defensive ability in percentages, freeze and stun res. Can we get the corrupted peaks? That's blades. Amarastos Flurry. Which isn't terrible, but it is the right damage type. Defensive ability, chaos res, slow res. Okay, we can try these. So we haven't touched these yet. Suffixes. Okay, now it's starting to cost 3. I'm not doing that. That's too expensive. So we have one last set to try to work with. Prismatic prefix isn't great, but I want to try to, again, roll to corrupted peaks on the suffix, because that's massive for us. Eternal Blood. Arcane Balance. Arcane of Blades. One more. Nature's Bounty. No. Okay, so the best one that we've gotten is probably the Rhymefrost of Blades, right? Rhymefrost of Blades or these. I'm gonna sell the rest because they're not useful anymore. So these are too bad. These are bad. These are bad. And from these three, I have to choose. I could also craft a few more just to see if I manage to... Let's craft 5 more. Or, well, 10 more. Just to see if I maybe roll into the corrupted peaks naturally. So that is stone plate, greaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Protection. Scorched ends. Prowess, blood. Pack mentality, that's for pets. Void fire. Spines, vitality. Vitality isn't too bad if I'm looking for the health. Doesn't have the damage though. Frostblood. Ooh, what is that? Battle Surge, that is a skill I have. Cold damage, defensive ability kills, stun res, battle surge. Okay, I can save some of these for potential rerolling in the future. But I'm gonna work with these that I have. So, you go... Rime Frost isn't terrible. These are bad. These are bad. Mage Storm of Pack Mentality, that's not double rare? I guess not. Vigorous of Void Fire, that is also a whole bunch of health on the Vigorous prefix. 9% health, plus some flat. If I just reroll the Void Fire, that could also be an option. And it's already a rare suffix, so maybe I reroll these. Scorched Ends, those can go. Survivalist of Spines, no. Thunderstruck of Vitality, again, if I'm desperate, but I want the Corrupted Peaks suffix, so I guess not. Arcane Blaze, no. These last ones. Frostblood could be an option. Okay. So rest goes. Of these, which one do I find the most promising? Probably the Survivalists of Amarastos Flurry, right? Because those not only have flat health, but percent health as well. Yeah, probably sticking with these for now. So now I need 778 physique, so I'm gonna drink it, not sell it.
Put it to good use.
So I think I needed like 28 to get there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 7, 8. Still need more? 78, okay. Okay, now I can equip them. And rest goes into cunning. Unfortunately, there's no way to allocate more than one at a time, so I have to just keep clicking. Yeah, so these go in. What did illusion? I also applied illusions so that we are fashionable. Mogdrogen's Divine Boots. I'm gonna... Not that we get to see them since I'm werewolfing, but... Mogdrogen's Divine Boots. I'm gonna remove the component. And we can move on. Keep the add-on. So, our resistances are now fine. Our physical resistance went up. It's not the ideal what I was looking for. Our health should be a little higher if I got what I wanted. And I would have gotten +2 points into Bone Chilling Cry, which would increase our resistance reduction for cold. But this will do for now. I'm gonna save these up. I might do some re-rolling off stream afterwards to maybe get the ideal rolls that I want. But I also need to gather up some resources. This goes into my relics. I just wanted to show how much crafting I had to do to get what I wanted. So, like, don't blow the entire bank just to get the right rolls. I can afford it because I have so much playtime here that I have accumulated a lot of resources, but like it will get very expensive trying to craft level 90 relics for the right modifiers, right completion bonuses. So, with that, we can move on. Now, I'm also already playing on Ascendant, because I do want to farm up some of those Ashes of Awakening and also aspects of Baronath, because we have yet to apply any of our Ascended affixes. And everything in here can have an Ascended affix except for the Relic. So that's gonna be like, we need at least 13 aspects of Baronath, and I think I have like 8. And my Ashes of Awakening are almost gone because I kept rerolling all of this stuff. So, next step, firstly we have this new eyeball or sphere that has been added in latest hotfix. The remnant rides at you as you approach. You are its prey, and in the end of days written within the stars it will claim you. But it does not have to be this way. With the right runes it can be banished from this world if for a time. Will you prevent the dread from appearing? I will not prevent the dread from appearing. So this only appears on Ascendant Mode, and there is a new boss that will eventually just keep chasing you down. It's very strong, and if you don't want to encounter it because it can reappear multiple times per session, if you feel like it's disrupting your gameplay too much, you can turn it off. Or you can go to the Ascension Altar and increase its spawn rate if you want to fight it a whole lot. We're not gonna be doing that because I'm not yet sure how powerful we actually are. Because, well, this is basically our first go at it with this fully completed build. Though I guess I did do the Tomb of the Heretic, but it was on Ultimate, not Ascendant. I also went back to our, what is it called? Alchemist in Kernhold, and did some stuff with our potions. So this one now gives us lifesteal, which is permanent uptime, and increased his healing a little bit. And this one, which I had for environmental protection before, now gives me increased armor, because I have full armor absorption, and currently my armor is 2300, and I also have a bunch of percent bonuses because I crafted my items at Angrim, and if I drink the potion, my armor jumps to 3000, so a bit more physical protection. Now, with that, we're gonna move on to Ashes of Malmoth, because we need to get there in order to progress the Baronath quest. I also still have a leftover quest with Anasteria to go to Port Valbury, which, by the way, I remembered today. I wanted to check where Locksmere Night Mage spawns. I've been saying that for streams upon streams, and I always forgot to check it. This time I did, and he appears in Port Valbury, so that's why we didn't run into him yet. And I must say, I'm not super excited about fighting him for the first time in a challenge dungeon, because if he's as nasty as he used to be, we just have to kill him super fast before he dispels us. Oh, we have a Tempest Totem. These can only appear on Ascendant Mode. Then spawn completely unique bosses that drop items you cannot find anywhere else. A set of spears. Some super cool modifiers. They can also Sunder. The doggos are dead. It's no problem. By the way, Ice King is currently being affected by a bug. At least, I doubt it's intentional. If you have your Hellhounds summoned and one of them dies, and you press the button to resummon new ones, it will only summon one. Even though, thanks to Ice King, your Summon Hellhound conjures 2, it will only ever replace 1. The only time it ever summons 2 is if you have at least 2 missing. So I'm hoping that gets changed, because not only is it annoying because you have an injured Hellhound, you want to resummon it and it just doesn't, but also you can basically play this like a Bomberman. If you've ever played like minion instability in Path of Exile, kind of like that. You just have your pets blow up. Because the Hellhound has a on-death or on-unsummon explosion that deals a good bunch of damage. It actually deals more damage than their attacks do. So you would ideally just keep resummoning them whenever they come off cooldown and have them blow up in enemy faces. But currently you only ever summon one, unless you just lose them. So that's a bit of a nerf, but I'm sure that's gonna get fixed. There was a similar bug with a different item like years back, and they fixed it immediately in the next patch after it was reported. I also realized as I was doing my adjustments of the build that I was actually even more correct in doing full cunning dump than I thought. See, during my calculations of like, is it better to do a cunning dump or should I put my points in spirit instead? I was calculating with the on-sheet crit damage, which for us is like currently less, but it's supposed to be around 30%. It's not 30% currently because I haven't finished Korvac yet. Well, that was actually incorrect because there is even more crit damage on Werewolf's main attack. Feral Claws on their own don't have extra crit damage, but this node adds it. This only affects Feral Claws and it gives us plus 33% crit damage. So my previous calculation of like full cunning dump is like 7% extra damage and full spirit dump is 9%. It's actually probably even more in favor of a spirit cunning dump than I thought previously. So we are in Gloomwald. We need to make it to Ugdenbog. That's where our objective is. These are not great, so I'm gonna sell them. I already have a bunch of them saved from a different character, so I'm only gonna be saving double rares. Who are you? Ulavia. Interesting name. Big Traveler. The Wendigo spirit is strong in these parts. The Wendigo spirit? It is an ancient spirit of the forest. Once fierce and noble, it has become lost to the darkness. Lost even to Mogdrogen. Now it only seeks to corrupt all it touches. Thank you for the warning. Alkama. Beware travel, the lands ahead are as foul as they are deadly. The stench of Wendigo is heavy upon the air. Travel safe. Where are you headed? We had thought the way north safer. We are turning back to Whitemire. And so should you. Wendigo? The vile spirit taints the heart and corrupts the soul. None who have given in to its allure remain human for long. Yeah, we have already met somebody touched by the Wendigos. Although I didn't stream it, so... It was a hidden area, or sort of hidden area in Flanks of Astrakarn. Mr. named Skorv Egdenor, who we will meet again in this expansion. Now, we will also be starting the secret quest for Ashes of Malmuth. It stretches across the entirety of the act, so it's actually 2 acts. So we're going to be starting a part of it here, but it's going to be a long time before we finish it. It's, again, very cryptic, but this is an old expansion, so it's all been solved already. I mean, people have already solved the Flanks of Astrakarn secret quest as well. And that one's a doozy. By the way, I am playing Ascendant Mode, but I did not activate the Ascension Altar. Because there's no point in me biasing my item drops towards my damage type anymore, because I have everything I want now. There's no way for me to increase the drop rate of blueprints, so that one thing that I'm looking for cannot be influenced. And pretty much the only other thing that I want a lot of is aspects of Baronath. These things are pretty decent because they drop aspects of Baronath, potentially. And Ashes of Awakening. Yeah, aspects of Baronath and Ashes of Awakening and Frozen Aster. So basically I'm after materials. More or less to fund not only the application of Ascended affixes onto this character, but also to supply resources for the next build that I'm going to be making. So I could theoretically maybe bias the altar towards giving me more of those resplendent troves to get me more materials, but I'm not actually sure what the locations of those troves even are, so how likely I am to come across them. But you know what? Let's do it. I'm not gonna blow too many resources on it, because it also makes the game harder. And we want to make progress at a decent pace so that we can continue Fangs of Esterkarn. But I'm gonna bias it slightly for the materials. There's also a modification to increase the drops of soul fragments and spirit echoes, but I'm honestly currently not even sure what I need those for. And also it would eat my Ashes of Awakening, and I have few of those as is. Don't want to be boosting reputation gain, because the one faction that I really need to meet and get augments from I almost have revered with already, thanks to my encounter in Fangs of Esterkarn with Skorf Egdenor. I could increase the Tempest Totems, I guess. I don't know what this means. Monster bonus. Damage to all minions, health to minions. Does it mean the things that are summoned from the totem? What are minions? Maybe that? So that would technically mean this doesn't make the game harder, only the totems harder. That's not too bad. Definitely not this. We don't have enough Celestial Essence to begin with. I already spent plenty on this character. Brute forcing items. Double rares, we don't really care on this character anymore. We could use some more money, because I spent a lot. Why not? Definitely don't want to be spending Frozen Esther. And Resplendent Troves, let's say twice. Nemesis spawns, I don't care. Monster gear doesn't matter to me. Okay, let's stick with this. So these bonuses are decent. Enemies will now have... Still don't know what the minions mean, but 240% increased health. That is additive, I think, on top of the modifiers that Ascendant Mode already has. So it's not like we are more than doubling enemy health, it's actually less than that. And plus 40% all damage, we can live with that. And by the way, if I just wanted to apply my Ascended affixes, let's say on our chest, we would need Celestial Lotus, 5 soul fragments, so I guess that's what they're needed for. But we can make soul fragments from spirit echoes, and I think I have quite a few of those. Then Ethereal Mutagen, Ashes of Awakening, and this is the main pain point, the main bottleneck, I think, Aspects of Baronath. Those are really hard to get. I'm guessing the easiest way to get them is going to be first probably completing some quests. I would be surprised if killing Baronath doesn't give us Aspects of Baronath, right? That would be weird. And also by farming Frozen Esther in the route that I showed at the start of the stream. And then converting the Frozen Esther into Ashes of Baronath, Aspects of Baronath in 10:1 ratio. Nain's Stash. It's already a quest objective. I don't know what he's up to, but twice in the last week I've seen a Nain driving a loaded wagon up the North Road past the old mill, then twice returning with the wagon empty. He must be hiding something up there, and I mean to find out where. If he's made it big, I fully intend to be in on his good fortunes. This is actually gonna be kind of helpful. It's not an important quest in general, but it's gonna lead us to a place that's gonna be relevant to the hidden quest. Or near it, at least. So now, whenever there's a Resplendent Trove, anywhere spawned, it will highlight on the map. So we definitely won't miss those. There's something hidden? There is. We can also, since we're playing on Ascendant Mode, we should be opening every chest that we come across, because some of them can be void marked, and they will spawn a whole bunch of chthonic enemies who will drop after being killed. They will be dropping Ashes of Awakening. And we are in desperate need of those. You hurt a lot. I'm gonna be picking up everything that we find, or at least the monster infrequents and such, because, again, I've blown inordinate amount of resources on this character to get the pieces I wanted. So we need to refinance. Nemesis. That was quick. Yeah, I think they spawn faster, even if you haven't modified their spawns in Ascendant Mode. Let's see. Oh, your health is going down very nicely. Oh, and somebody healed you. One of those damn Wendigo cultists. Need to lure them out. Bloodsingers, yeah. You should have been dead already. Can summon the hounds as soon as they are available, even though it's half as effective as it should be, because we're only summoning one. It's a beast warrant. This guy does insane amounts of poison damage. Okay, wait for it to time out maybe. Matok Step. Well, that was another pair of boots that I was considering. It's interesting that with one simple change, the ability to reroll affixes, suddenly getting the perfect greens is ironically easier than finding a legendary. Because like if I wanted these boots, what can I do to find them? Nothing. I just have to play and hope. But I can just craft the right boots and reroll them. Spend resources and get what you want. There's our Tempest spawn. Oh wow, that hurts. Yeah, I might have buffed them a little too much. Hit that down. More Ashes of Awakening. Apocalypton. Is Apocalypton craftable? Let me check. Sorry about having to alt-stab, but unfortunately, what can you do? Apocalypton. Grim Tools. Item database. Apocalypton. I think it is craftable, right? Apocalypton is craft. Oh? No, it only drops from Tempest Totems. Okay, I need to save every single piece of Apocalypton then. I think I already threw some away. I did not know that. Okay. But I think you can at least randomly reroll legendaries into them, like legendary sets. So I'm not completely cut off from getting those. I do wish the game told you stuff like this, instead of you having to look it up on Grim Tools. Okay, and there is also... Is there a Resplendent Drove? There is. Excellent. Give me more Aspects of Baroness. It does cost us Dynamite, but we have plenty of that. Ancient Heart, Ashes of Awakening. Some Mugden Blooms. But yeah, we do need those ashes. A lot of them. So not only do I need to apply my Ascendant affixes in the first place, but then the downside of having rerolled my items so many times is now rerolling the Ascendant affixes on them is going to be expensive. That is one of the void marked objectives. So that's where these guys came from. Anything you touch can blow up in your face. I once, on a different character, one that I've made years ago, and that I've been like playing alongside this, came across 3 chests next to each other. I opened all 3 and all 3 were void marked. Suddenly, demons everywhere. Oh, he died already. 4 damage over time. Okay, this isn't void marked. This is also incidentally giving us repetition with the Kern, which is nice because that's another faction that I don't have maxed. How far off am I with the Kern? Yeah, they are really, really difficult to get on your side. All the quests that you complete with them give you like 100 rep. I understand that they're distrustful of Erulians, but they might be overdoing it. One thing that I've noticed that it's kind of surprising on Berserker is that... Come on, what's my back in place? There's a hidden area here. Is that it is the only mastery in the game that has a resistance reduction skill that has a cooldown. Namely, Bone Chilling Cry. At least one that has % resistance reduction. I guess War Cry would also qualify. Which means if you're just moving ahead from one fight to another, you're gonna be without resistance reduction a lot of the time. Which is a weird thing to include. Basically weakens the mastery. Not that the mastery is suffering for it too much. It's plenty strong from what I've seen and heard. But it's weird to include such a nerf or a step backwards on a new mastery. Okay, there is next shrine. I'm gonna use that to finally get our devotion proc from FoA. I wonder if the minion bonuses that we're getting on the totem also affects enemies spawned from other stuff, such as these shrines. There's a lot of poison damage. My poison resistance is good though now, right? Yeah. Okay, so enemies... I mean, yeah, we are playing Ascendant Mode, so enemies are doing more damage, and we've also beefed them up. So, that goes on doggies. The reason being, this isn't really a good damage source. And our pets do a lot less damage than we do. So I'm basically just using this as a debuff. And keeping all of the good damage sources on our attacks instead of the pets. This is gonna provide a lot of crowd control, so mitigate a lot of damage by petrifying enemies. Where am I taking so much Frostburn from? Exploration now pays extra because of these void marked objectives. Any chest can give you massive rewards, so look everywhere. Again, this damage over time. What is this? Oh, it might be my damage over time. I think they're reflecting it onto me. I think there was a reflective guy there. So yeah, I'm killing myself, kinda. I have no reflected damage reduction, I believe. Can actually check that. Oh, no I can't, because more void marked. Uh-oh. Welcome to the Dread. Okay, come here. Let's be having you. Why am I missing so much? Either you have very high defensive ability or you are debuffing me. You're not taking a lot of damage, are you? I just cornered myself. Okay, that hurts. And you turn around. That's not fair. You're not supposed to turn around during Sunders. That's not nice. How much of a sun... Ow! Okay, I wanted to check how much of a sunder it is, but... Okay, you're no joke. Ah, the music stops. I think it despawns when it kills you, right? So I don't get another go. Huh. Maybe I beefed up everything a little too much to be learning a new boss. I've killed it already in the past on a different character, but again, that was a summoner. I basically just stood there and watched as my pets did everything. This is not that kind of build. Even though we have pets. Don't even need to pick up my tombstone anymore because I can't lose XP. Ah, more worried mark. Yeah, they do like to spawn reflective guys. Come on, pick it up. Blood-soaked scribblings. We left Burrowich not more than a week ago. There was something wrong with that place, and there were rumors of strange goings-on around the Creek residence. So Fraser had this crazy idea that we should leave and head north. He said there was a nice town just up the road. He should know, he lived up there less than a year ago. He said passage would be difficult, but we could make it if we stuck together. He couldn't have been more wrong. We weren't one day out of town when things started going poorly. First, Beatrix came down with a fever. Her skin went pale and her eyes glazed over. That night she started lashing out at us, shaking, vomiting and screaming about some creature out in the woods staring back at her. The following day the same thing happened to Heinrich. With both of them sick, we were forced to travel slowly. Fraser and I towed them behind us in a makeshift sled. Too far from Burrowich to turn back, but Fraser said he knew of an inn that was less than a day's travel ahead. So we continued onward. When we reached the inn, it was abandoned, and the air hung heavy with the scent of death. But we were desperate and in need of shelter, so we stayed there nonetheless. That night was when the noise started. Fraser said he didn't hear none of it, but I could make it out loud and clear. It sounded like an animal growling and moving about just outside the inn. As the night wore on, the noises became louder and louder, and I began to question my sanity. Fraser insisted that it was nothing, but I could swear they were right outside. When dawn came, I didn't want to move, but Fraser forced me out of the inn. He said we had to continue or we wouldn't make it to safety. So we began pulling the sled north along the overgrown road. As we moved, I could hear it following us, its footsteps mirroring our own. Beatrix and Heinrich were getting sicker by the minute, and we soon grew tired of hauling the sled. My hands were blistered and my feet bloodied from the rough path. Fraser said we had to leave them. The sled was just too heavy for us to pull. But that didn't sit right with me. We argued back and forth about their fate, each becoming more and more angered as we continued. That was when Fraser grabbed his camp hatchet and threatened to kill them right there and there. He said if I couldn't let them go, he'd just do it for me. I didn't mean for what happened next, but I was scared and the growling sounds bore down on me like a fire in my mind. I shoved him and he stumbled over a root, falling face first into his hatchet, which lodged itself in the right side of his chest. He looked up at me in horror as blood filled his lungs and mouth. That's when I saw it, standing behind Fraser at the edge of the woods, a massive, hideous figure, like a man with the head of a dead animal. I froze for a moment and then bolted down the road. As I ran, I could hear Fraser's gurgling screams begging me not to leave him. I can still hear them, all three of them wailing in the darkness like rabbits being eaten by a fox. It's been hours. Why won't they die? Is that thing still out there? Is it taunting me? I can't go on. I can't take it anymore. I guess he... I mean, it was bloodstained, right? I guess he couldn't take it anymore. We already met some of these nice fellows. Wendigo cults. Transformees, I guess, these guys who can invoke wretches and marked. Okay, another Tempest Totem. So again, if we find Apocalypton, don't throw it away. Ow. But we lived. Vagar's Betrayal. Another Apocalypton. Okay, so it's... I'm not gonna say it's easy to find. Just because I found 2 pieces doesn't mean that's gonna continue, but yeah. Not too terrible. I wish the Ice Kings had dropped this eagerly. Okay, is the monster gone? No, but they seem to always spawn a reflective. It's gonna be really nasty against physical characters or internal trauma characters, because they'll just kill themselves if they don't have enough reflect resistance. Yeah, it's gone. Okay. So lessons learned, it turns around when it thunders, not like other enemies. So I guess I just have to create distance. It seems to create some sort of debuff pools that absolutely tank my offensive ability because I started missing, even though I mean, my offensive ability should be better because I don't have the correct augments. I need those from Coven of Ugdenbog. And I also haven't finished Korvak yet, which is another 5% offensive ability. Oh, the quest marker is... Oh yeah, that's the father that we're looking for. Or Amala Torven, the survivor from Malmuth that came to Devil's Crossing. There is something in here, right? Yeah, hidden spoils. Okay, let's talk to Daddy. That sounded wrong.
Please just leave me alone out here.
What? Who are you? Some sort of monster in disguise? Oh, because I'm werewolf, he's reacting differently, I'm guessing. Calm down, I'm not going to hurt you. Stay back, I'm a powerful arcanist. I'm not looking for trouble. You must be Garrett. What? I mean, yes, but how did you know? Your daughter sent me to find you. Amala? She made it to safety then? Yes, she's fine, she's at Devil's Crossing. The prison? Well, so long as it's safe. I guess I can die in peace then. No need to be dramatic, I can get you out of here. No, I cannot bear to look her in the eyes. I failed her as a father, I failed to protect her when she needed me. Leave me here. You won't be any good to her dead. Or we can be a meanie and just port him over. Give him a good scare. You won't be any good to her dead. I suppose that is true. We got together this far, I cannot abandon her again. I've been given a second chance. How do you plan on getting me there though? My leg's busted. Like this. Zip. There you go. Okay, now we're looking for this stash, and of course for the Coven. And we have a marker. I'm not gonna have everything I need for the secret quest yet. Or rather, I'm gonna have to go back to Devil's Crossing. I think. But I believe I need either Rift Stone or Black Tallow in here. So firstly, that's the detonation site. This will only appear after you've picked up the... what is it? The Nain's stash note. I'm not gonna look for it again. These rocks look like someone placed them here deliberately. This might be Nain's secret stash. You can hear it. You can clear it out with some heavy explosives. And blow it up with dynamite. There's his stash. Completes the quest. And while you're here, doesn't look like anything, but you can go through this. This is there only on Ultimate. And here's a blacksmith. He doesn't craft anything. Well, for some reason he seems to be able to... Oh, is that the only way you can get these? The polarized versions? I thought you can craft them normally. Maybe not. I haven't really played since they created the polarized version of Regalon. Nothing here, and here is Heart of Darkness, which requires 1 black tallow. What do we need this for? Teeming with vile energies that hunger for an ashen altar. Could mean anything, right? You click this corpse. Turn back. I sense purpose within you, traveler. Unrelenting aspirations, but in the end, most mortals seek to avoid death. If you do not fear it as you should, then by all means proceed forward. Do not be so blue in the face. When flame meets flame, so shall the way forward be opened, and our meeting be brought one step closer. Very cryptic, doesn't really tell us anything. But if I go back to Devil's Crossing... Go craft our black tallow.
I do the best I can.
Which requires 3 Riftstone, if I remember correctly. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's 4, so I'm gonna craft 1 extra. Tallow. It was 3. Okay, got that.
Bring me back any blue.
Gonna talk to Amala.
I am relieved that my father made it safely.
He was a bit shaken up, but still alive.
We were never close, but he's the only family I got left. I don't know how to thank you. Oh, perhaps this. Here, take this potion. My father and I took sips from it along our journey to keep up our strength. I'm sure you'll find it useful.
I already talked to her about everything, I think. Anything you can tell me about the Ethereus over in Malmouth? Yeah, no, I already talked to her about this. So we got another tonic of reshaping, which helps, because I just drank one at the start of the stream to reallocate my attributes. So this is the only one we have. But there is also a way to craft them now. Although I think there was before as well. Those celestial blacksmiths that are hidden in various areas on Ultimate can craft these. And there's papers. I want to remember to save the Apocalypton, so uncraftable sets. Where is Apocalypton? That's the helmet. And I think we got the amulet as well, correct? Apocalypton's eye. Where is it? Oh no, eye is the... Oh, gaze is the helmet. This is the body. So we need 2 more pieces. Rest we can sell.
I'll give you a good price.
There were no double rares, if I remember. Don't need to save those spears, even though I think they might be used for crafting something. Manticore Waistguard. That's the Underking pants. Let's just call them underpants. Mark of Nakrathan. Oh, that is a monster infrequent that dropped randomly. That's Mogara. Oh yeah, on Ascendant Mode, you can get monster infrequents from enemies that aren't even of that type. Because we definitely didn't fight Mogara or... what was the other guy? Or Nakrathan. Or Bloodfeast, for that matter.
Iron well spent.
Okay, so we're gonna return to the smith. And craft the Heart of Darkness. We don't know why, but has to be there for some reason, right? I mean, I know why, but I'm not gonna spoil it. It is for the secret quest. So poison. I'm hoping for round 2 with the Dread, because I would like to learn the movesets and what we need to do. Again, killing these guys, reputation with Barrowholm and with the Kern. I lost one of my dogs. Yeah, there's the problem. If I press the button now, summon only 1 dog. The wounded ones don't get replaced. Obsidian Juggernauts. An interesting weapon. I want to build around it someday. do not want to spawn the dread in here, though. That is, it's dark and depressing and very confined. More of these guys. Again with the reflective. Jesus. Is reflect resistance suddenly gonna become very important for everybody? These just keep appearing. Second one, just give me those ashes. I'm not complaining, like, I am happy to be getting the materials for this. Focus Gem, Guild Arcanum. More? No. There can be a boss here, Avarice Marrowwill, but we already met her in the previous dungeon. So she's in one of the two. The Kern. I should open this just in case. I do like the fact that they gave us reasons to do basically everything. Reasons to do totems, reasons to open chests, reasons to hunt trolls, reasons to do more challenge dungeons. Anything in the game that you want to be doing. Now we have more reasons to do it. I'm also constantly forgetting drinking my energy potion to give myself the armor buff and the shield. That is a big part of our survivability. Every 30 seconds I need to drink, at the very least. I should actually be drinking on cooldown because of the shield, which will get broken first before I take damage to health. These guys are very loud, I must say. Okay, that's everything here. So, there's nothing of importance in this area, but the next one, after the main hub of this swamp, we will be looking for Bargol to make progress on Fangs of Esterkarn. And I hope that it doesn't bug out, because for some people it has. Let's just explore the south first. Actually, I shouldn't, because there is we need to hunt down a specific monster in here and bring its heart to the Coven. If I go along the south part, I'm gonna miss the monster, and I'm gonna reach the Coven without it. I would have to come back anyway. Not the hidden area here. I wonder if the hidden areas have a bigger chance to spawn those void marked or whatever they're called, chests and stuff. I'm guessing it's random. Yeah, Conjurer is my backup that I've been using for farming materials and for getting reputation so that I can buy merits for this character. Hi, Tarkin. Good to see you again. What kind of conjurer? I'm guessing since you're saying it's chill, it's probably gonna be a summoner, right? Beast Caller, maybe? That's my go-to. Yeah. The fact that they gave Beast Caller a second Hellhound is shocking to me. I mean, yeah, it's called Beast Caller, so you should probably have a big menagerie, but I mean, I thought it was the Briarthorn set, and if you wanted to have a lot of Hellhounds, you should have played Lost Souls, but I guess now everybody gets Hellhounds. I get Hellhounds on Ice King, Beast Caller, Lost Souls. There is also one for... There's another one, right, that summons multiple Hellhounds. Beast Scholars. It's the Skelemancer of Diablo 2 in Grim Dawn for me. It's the zero maintenance. Skeletons in here sometimes die unless you're playing Lost Souls, I guess. Lost Souls makes skeletons kinda tanky. But Beast Scholar is just immortal. Although I tried Beast Scholar on the secret boss, or the Uber version of the secret boss of Fangs of Esterkarn, and that fight I still can't do, even with Beast Scholar. The beasts survive mostly fine. I don't. I get touched, I explode. With 23,000 health and like 30% physical resistance, I just die. I make it to halfway health, and then then the boss goes crazy. Past the midpoint. So there's the entrance to the Coven. I guess I can go there. You know what? I'm gonna open a rift here. Go there, activate the rift inside, and then zip back. So if we didn't have access to Forgotten Gods and didn't go to Fangs of Esterkarn first, after Seydina in Devil's Crossing dies, you have no spirit guide until you reach this point. But with the addition of Forgotten Gods, you basically never are without a spirit guide. So there was a bit of a time capsule, I guess. Fakla. I do want to keep your helmet because you're used for crafting some stuff. Limited knowledge. That's the issue with pets or pet builds. They don't really let you learn the game because the pets do everything for you. It's a good way to get a strong build early without needing to learn too much, but eventually it will hold you back, I feel like. So, if I want to force it, I could increase the Dread spawn rate, but I think it costs me... Doesn't it cost me the aspects of Baranath, which I don't really feel like spending? I do want to learn the Dread fight, but... Kretchmoor's Order. I'm gonna clear this place out first. Okay, nobody's gonna disturb me here. Kretchmoor's Order. There have been some strange travelers above these parts recently. The inn is busy, more so than it should by this time of year. Than it should be this time of year. Not that you'll hear me complaining about that. A fair bit of extra coin has found its way to my pockets as of late, but the folk moving through these parts aren't like the ones we are used to seeing. There's been common folk from further south than Devil's Crossing, and groups of men and women moving about with strange new markings on their armor and clothes. We even had a fella a couple of weeks back claimed he came all the way south from the capital. Said he was a chef looking for work. And that's probably Algrim. Actually, that's definitely Algrim, because we know he passed through Malmuth. I didn't have room for him, so I suggested he try in Burwich, which he did. It's not just the people that are strange. There's been an uneasy feeling in the forest, as I'm sure you've noticed. I haven't seen nor heard a bird in more than a week. I chalked it up to there being more people around, but no more than 3 days ago, Critch brought in a fresh kill. It was a big swamp buck, 10 points if I remember correctly. A kill like that usually brings in the vultures, but the dressings have been sitting out in the wood, festering since, and no sight of those hideous things. If it sits out there much longer, it'll draw out Caraxes for sure, which is the monster we're supposed to hunt down. I swear that crusty old bastard has doubled in size and gotten twice as ugly since I last saw him. He's been up around the inn twice in the last year, stealing things. Supposedly, he even took a milk cow from Gretchen's stable. I shouldn't like to think what happened to that poor thing. Fire used to scare him off, but he seems to have become bolder as he's grown. Whoever finds that creature's lair is in for a right heap of useless junk and more crap than a man can eat in a lifetime. If anyone should be eating that thing to begin with. In any case, there's business to be done, especially with all these folk moving about the countryside. If you've got the stores, I'd like to order 3 casks of Redmire Ale, 2 cases of Black Leaf, and 20 bottles of stone wine. Payment on delivery, as usual. Cratchmore. Good thing you're so talkative, or that note would be of no use to us. I do sound Germanic, don't I? I don't know why though. I'm Czech. But I noticed that somehow my accent got Germanized over the years. I don't even speak German properly anymore. I studied it, but it's been a long time since I had to use it. I always used to think that my accent was kind of good, but recently, since I am hearing myself on recording, I can tell. Oh no, that doesn't sound natural. English-speaking accent at all. Not even remotely. Okay, so in here is Caraxes. I'm not expecting him to have become a supremely dangerous enemy. I've heard some stuff about Naxxon Shade, who used to be an absolute non-boss. And in the beta, or I guess for people that had early access to the expansion for testing, apparently he's been a real pain in the ass to fight. Well, that's down in Barrelholm, so that's gonna take a while to get to. Okay, so we got a double rare up there. Bogdenborg Girdle of Landslides. Man. Landslides is nice, so this would be for a... I actually have a plan for a build that would want basically this, not consecrated, but landslides, so Soldier and Berserker, a Cold Thane. I was planning on doing a Cold Blitz Thane, because there's a number of items that support Cold Blitz and Onslaught. But I'm probably gonna leave it for later, I decided. Because I feel like it's supported by like 4 items and everything else you basically cobble together. And I want to do builds that have like a lot of support now, so that when new items get added later on, I don't have to redo stuff. That's fine, Tarpin. It's perfectly fine if you just sit back, relax, do whatever you feel like. I'm just glad you're here. Nothing worse than streaming into the aether with nobody listening, right? That was my nightmare when I was starting. Like, please, at least have somebody watching. Oh yeah, in here, enemies tend to spawn behind you a lot. Okay, so that's everything, right? That is everything, so I can just zip back. And have a little chat over here. Garadia.
Welcome. We hope that you find comfort in this refuge, away from prying eyes or judgment from the uninitiated.
If you're an Inquisitor, you will get some other additional voice line options. I require your aid. I've brought the heart of Caraxes in exchange.
I thank you for this offering. The heart of Caraxes shall cause no further harm. Instead, it now shall heal our injured. Now, what is it you need of us?
I must find a way to Malmuth and find a lost friend.
If you seek a path to Malmuth through the swamps, then I am afraid you are out of luck. The roads have all but collapsed, and even if you should somehow find your way out of the bog, the land beyond has been consumed by aether fire. Ancient passageways exist that could take you north, but they are not of this realm, and you will not like where they lead. Now, this friend of yours? What happened?
His name was Olgrim. He was taken by the Void in battle.
Olgrim, you say? Oh, it would be a shame to lose such a legend. But if he was claimed by the Void, then... Perhaps this gives me an idea that will solve both your predicaments. But if we are to help with this, then I must ask for something more in return.
Very well. What do you require?
What you ask will take me some time to prepare. But before I help you, there is something you must do for us. Deep within Ugdenbog, to the north of our refuge, there lies a village by the name of Barrowholm. I need you to travel there.
What does this village have to do with you?
I care not for the village, only for what was stolen. We had crafted an Ugdenbog fetish within the swamp in order to protect ourselves from the wilderness. Recently, someone has tampered with it, tore off the head of the fetish, and ran off with it. I can still sense its waning power within the bog, and the only nearby settlement is Barrowholm. I do not care what you do. We must have it returned to us. Do this, and I shall give you the means to find Ogrim, and perhaps even a way to Malmouth.
We have a deal. I'm gonna adjust the volume a little bit. Feels like the music is drowning out the voice lines. I'm gonna turn down the music slightly. Should be good enough.
I do not sense the Ugdenbog fetish.
It sounded strangely familiar with Olgrim.
He passed through here on his way down to what remains of Burwich. You could say that some of our brothers and sisters remember him quite fondly. There is much more to this warrior than most people realize.
I see. Okay. So now we have a... Oh, new quest. Brewer Ekathon. Hello, friend of the Coven. You strike me as one that has gained an appreciation or two for a well-timed tincture. Take this Wondrous Cauldron, for example. It has the potential to make sorcerers quake and turn kings into blabbering fools. All it takes is the correct mix and ratios of the right ingredients. Even the flask itself can be used to alter the properties of the final concoction. Would I make use of it? You? Well, sure, I suppose. I don't see why not. Just one thing before we can get started, and perhaps you can help me with it. Little quid pro quo, eh? What do you need? This cauldron has seen much use, and its properties have eroded over the years. I need to reapply its coating, and for that I need to make a salve. The recipe is simple, the materials perhaps not so much. Firstly, I will need some Ugdenbloom. That you can find growing anywhere in the swamp, but the resin I require will be more difficult to procure. Are you familiar with Silvaria? The rampaging growth has spread its roots across Ugdenbog. Some say it can no longer be killed, merely pruned. To acquire Silvarian resin, you will need to find the cave in central Ugdenbog within which sprouts the core of this creature. I do not require much, just a few drops, but for that you will have to contend with the monstrous vine itself. I will get what you need. I've already completed this quest on a different character, because I was exploring certain areas and farming reputation with the Noctukari, which required me to come here. So this guy will give me a potion ingredient, which I already have. But I'm gonna complete the quest anyway, because I think it might be gives reputation with these guys, and I'm kind of interested in maxing these guys as well. And I have a long way to go. I won't really require any of their augments anymore. If I got worse affixes, I would maybe need their elemental resistance augment, but that's no longer the case. Now this woman here, we've already met, Ralia. She was in Bloodgrove, being threatened by a couple of homestead farmers. And basically they were threatening to hang her or burn her alive. And we rescued her. But had to kill the farmers instead. So, depending on which choice you make, she will not be here. We meet again, friend. I must admit I had some reservations regarding your unusual state of mind. But you have proven to be understanding of human plights, even compassionate. My sisters will breathe easier knowing that you are willing to see past our craft for the people we are. I will make sure they hear of it. Do not worry, I will not speak of your origins to the others. Even though they endured prejudice in the Empire, they are not entirely free of it themselves. That's humanity for you, I suppose. How did you make it here all the way from Bloodgrove? yeah, if you help her, you get a little boost in reputation with Ugdenbog, which always nice. It wasn't simple, I can tell you that. After Melostria's call became more frequent, I set out east towards the lake. I traveled part of the way by boat, but that dinghy thing did not last long into turbulent waters. I found myself off the coast of Whitemire, nearly drowned. Thankfully, a couple of rowers found me before the slith did. With their help, I recovered quickly and made my way up here. Oh, were those the rovers that we met, who gave me the primal amulet or something for the slith necklaces? Is Melostria called to you? Yes, she is a powerful psychic and nearly burnt at the stake with herself for her ability to tap into the aether. Magnified by the powers of the other witches, Melostria called out to anyone with the gift who might hear. The lucky few who interpreted her summons and survived the journey are here. Fascinating. And Melostria is here. Nature Melostria. We will have some talk with her later, but she is kind of relevant to some lore and some stuff that I mentioned back in Forgotten Gods about the Dreeg and his task protecting the Eldritch Realm from other people trying to see into it.
Persistent, aren't you? Very well. You may remain here for the time being. Perhaps we will find a use for you.
What can I do to help?
For me? Nothing I suspect you can handle. Speak to Garadia. She might have something for you.
Okay, so she won't talk to us yet until we've completed enough quests and gotten enough reputation with the Coven. But there's a good bunch of important lore for the Coven and for the Witch Gods, because the Coven basically serves the Witch Gods. It doesn't necessarily worship them, but it draws power. I mean, I guess it does worship them, or they wouldn't be granted any powers. But we don't get any context until we've made more progress with the Coven. So, we're gonna push out. Oh, I also picked up a lore note, and there's one more up here. In this chest. No, in this chest. Yeah. So the first one is Trista's diary. Is Trista here somewhere? That's Ivok, Rugia, Ralia. Kalahastria. Actually, I don't have to run around. I can just look at the map. No, she's not here. Okay. The lore note. Trista's diary. This whole thing is still very strange to me. There are sisters here who have devoted their entire lives to study and craft, but I know nothing of such things. I have no skill with herb and vial, no knowledge of threads or their connections. I have no tales of the three or long sight. I cannot convene with spirits, and yet here I am. I was drawn here like a fish to its spawning grounds, and I have no idea why. I don't think any of the sisters know either. I've heard some of the elders speaking of me. There was no disdain in their voices, but they too are at a loss for what purpose I have in this place. I have learned many things in my short time here, and despite my apparent lack of direction, I intend to absorb as much information as this place will give me. There's a great deal of history in this coven. I've overheard the eldest sister speaking of a time when it was first formed, a time when its members were fearless and driven by a hunger for knowledge. They unveiled secrets hidden from mankind, learned of sources of immense power. Together they achieved things the rest of us dream of, but it came at a heavy price. Their hubris drew the ire of the three, and nothing was ever the same. My contemporaries speak of that time in hushed tones, but to be honest, I am envious of them. They must have felt such drive, such clarity of purpose. Is it truly so wrong to pursue lost knowledge? I will not rest until I have uncovered their secrets, until these places of power are once again within our grasp. The witch gods be damned. But as I walk among my sisters, I realize that there are those among us who look up to the three with reverence. Through them, the gods retain their unbroken gaze upon this place and our actions. I must be discreet and unassuming. The mantle of an ill-directed, purposeless new recruit shall suit me well for now. I'm thinking if I should maybe go to Old Valbury, because there is going to be some lore relevant to these witches. in there. And I do have a rift gate right here. I could try, because I have a quest to go there anyway. And it is a challenge dungeon, but I'm probably going to be heading into a challenge dungeon here as well, so I might as well do that one, right? Whispers from Beyond. The words were subtle at first, like an itch in the back of my mind. They were garbled, impossible to make out their meaning. But they would not relent. They became an incessant distraction, a calling much like Melostria's message that once beckoned me to this place, except while the matron came to me in my dreams, these words are without respite, without end. I can feel my attention waning when performing even the rudimentary tasks. At times, one voice would rise above the rest in the maddening chorus, and then I could deduce its meaning. This clarity never lasted long, and soon the chorus would resume. Never would the same voice gain power over the others. Each time, it was as if another sought my ear. They spoke of webs and spiders and places I have never seen nor heard of. Sometimes they woke me in terror as they screamed of fire and vengeance unlike the world had ever seen. I spoke of this to the matron, and her eyes would dart quickly towards old Rugia before staring into mine. She tried to console me as best she could, but we both knew what fate awaits those born with this curse. I only wish I could derive some meaning from the darkness before the madness claims my soul. It seems, however, that is not to be. So this is a lore note that references the Forgotten Gods expansion. And it was here, I believe, it was here long before Forgotten Gods was an expansion even. So like this was already hinting to a future story. Because the whispers of blood and vengeance and fire, that's Korvac. Yeah, you know what? Let's try a challenge dungeon. I know it's not progressing our current quest, but it is relevant to the lore, and this is still kind of a lore playthrough that I'm trying to do. Just for once, the other playthroughs are not gonna be like this. So let's do things in order at least a little bit, since I'm gonna be going back there anyway. And it's a good place to test ourselves. Yeah, reference to Bismiel, the webs, yeah, also. But also maddening visions and whispers can be related to Drieg as well, because he's like a god of sight, of far sight. Oh, also, that was a thing that I should have mentioned in Forgotten Gods. There was a location, actually not far from here. A hidden place, a hidden shrine. Oh yeah, this is Necromancers. A hidden shrine here. An altar that the scholar that studied it left a note next to it. That it doesn't resemble any of the witch gods. They don't usually display their altars so openly, and yet it feels like it's warm to the touch, like it was used recently. That shrine, we find a similar one in the tomb of Korvac in past Dark Vale. It's actually closer to the Asterkarn Valley. So that was temple or an altar to Korvac, which again, that was a god that had no name, was never mentioned in the base game, and it was already in the game before 2 expansions came out, which is neat. And it was warm and used because Kaiman, which is located not too far from it, in Sorrow's Bastion, Kaiman was going there to worship, or somebody from Kaiman's order. So that's also a nice hint to what's going on. I guess a hint that only makes sense in retrospect, because until Forgotten Gods, you have no idea what's going on. Although, no, that's not true. If you allied with Kaiman's Chosen, you do learn that he's communing with the messenger who serves Korvac. So I guess that's... I'm giving them too much credit. That was actually explained already in the base game. Okay, now we've already been to Port Valbury, because we needed to go there to pick up one of the relics of the lost chieftains for the Kern. So some areas of that we have explored, but we didn't go inside the challenge dungeon itself. And we certainly haven't done it on Ascended difficulty, so... This is definitely going to be a test of our ability. or lack thereof. Let's hold the run. Don't get shotguns. Possible. We now fire a lot more projectiles because of the dogs. So I need to be careful when his buff is up. Do not get shotgunned in the face. He did a number on my doggos, I must say. Hyperfang Grips, Grim Fate, that's for fire. Sigil of Consumption. Another of the 280 builds that I'm planning to do. And I haven't even written all of them down. That's insane. I'm gonna go crazy on this game. Thinking whether or not I should turn off the dread. I think I should. Not now, but before I enter the dungeon, I'm gonna turn off the dread, because I don't want to get screwed out of completion by fighting that monstrosity. I'm gonna turn it back on when I come out, but for now, I think I have enough of my plate on my plate. Oh, that's reflecting, because they are casting Mirror of Erioctes from the Arcanist tree. Yeah, this is blocked off. I'm gonna open a rift gate just in case, because I keep getting spammed by nemesis and also track the dread, so I don't want to have to run all the way here again. But I won't be able to open a rift gate inside the dungeon, so I don't want the dread on me. Ow. What the? Where did all my health suddenly go? Okay, there's another nemesis. Who is this? Who that? Ah, it's another Aldaran. Okay, now he turned the aura on, so run away. Ow. Okay, now it's off again. We can kill him. Almost got killed immediately. What the? What is this damage? Maybe I should be a little more conservative with the buffs that I applied in the dungeon. Ooh, Harbinger's Void Blade, that's what I'm gonna want for the next build. Obviously not this high level version to start with, but that is a double rare one already. So many nemesis, yeah. On Ascendant in particular, you just keep getting them again and again. I didn't even increase their spawn rate. This is just base. But it's good also, because that's a good way to get items. I mean, I suddenly found the blueprint. It's not the Ice King one, but still. Also, blueprints are kind of weird right now. Sometimes they show as one item, and then when you read it, it gives you a different one. There's some mislabeling happening there. Ah, shit. Okay. Open a rift. Okay, I'm gonna pause. What are you doing? 90% total damage reduction. 1450% defensive ability. Okay, yeah. Do not stand in those pools. Noted. Get out of the thunder. Okay, how strong is this? 85%. Jesus. You do not fuck around, do you? Okay, wait for it to fall. I'm gonna be doing a lot of running around then. Okay, there's the pools again. Get out of it. Get out of the thunder. Oh shit, that's a hit. Okay, get out of the pool. Thunder? No, not yet. Okay. Now thunder. At the pool. Oh, they linger for a long time. That hit, holy shit. Oh, you're stuck? Sucks to be you. Get out of the thunder. Oh, what was that? It's another pool. I mean, he's taking damage at least, but not quickly. That hit. Okay, I need to avoid that one. It does too much damage. But I think we can do it. We can do it. I just need to be more cognizant of his attack patterns. I can't just stand there and tank all of it. Maybe once I get the Ascended FXs. I didn't even check. It's possible that the big ass swing that he does that killed me also might apply some lifesteal or something. So I should avoid it just for efficiency's sake. The like big red claw attack that's makes me think of vitality damage, and that usually comes with lifesteal. Or, well, not usually, but can be bundled with some of that. Okay, so don't stand in the pools, don't get sundered, avoid that big swing, and other than that, it seems like the other attacks aren't too bad. The stomp that spreads that black ichor on the ground doesn't seem to be doing all that much. And I must say it's been helpful that I have those hounds, because sometimes that big ass claw attack was aimed at them instead of me. Saves me a lot of health. Even in this beefed up version, I think I can take it. If I avoid the right attacks. Which of course can mean I'm weak. Because maybe other builds are just tanking this thing full on. And I can't. And part of the issue is my health pool. Even though 18,000 health isn't bad, I might need more. Especially if I'm gonna be buffing the enemies with the Ascension Altar, like I have. I think if I was just fighting the Dread straight on without those buffs, I could probably just tank it, but not the way it is right now. This is a location where it might be actually worth it to take the environmental protection potion. Because there's a lot of aether ground everywhere. But I mean, I'm not gonna die to that, right? It's gonna be the enemies that kill me, not a bit of big damage. Which also reminds me, I think throughout that entire Dread fight, I didn't drink my energy potion. Which cost me a crap ton of armor. I need to remember that. every 30 seconds I need to drink. Speaking of drinking, I'm gonna take a sip. That dread fight made me sweaty. Yeah. Heralds. Okay, this is as far as we've gone because the war chief that we were looking for was somewhere in here. I think here by the tree. Yeah, that's where his remains were. MSAs. That's moving too fast, that's Alexander. Alexander, I don't fear that much. As long as I don't get hit by the meteor, I'm fine. Okay, come out here. I'm not fighting you in the Aether Ground. Get the crystals first. Hit nerf our damage. Oh yeah. Vanguard Warrant. That's another thing I hope gets added later. Since they decided for Ashes of Malmuth to separate the new ethereal faction from the base one, I'm hoping that they then give each of them a separate second nemesis. It would mean that Ethereals would technically have 4 nemesis, which is maybe a bit excessive representation, but I mean they are one of the main enemies of the... Okay, there's our second chance, I guess third chance. For the Dread. Okay, that's the pool. I need to recognize which attack is the big claw. That's a Sunder. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, get out of the pool. That was a fuck up. I need to remember not to... Yeah, thank you for the reminder. Energy pot. Yes, Starpin. Yes, sir. That's another... Oh, he fires the projectile. Okay, that's good to know. No, doesn't work. God damn it. I need to dodge away from him, not through him. It's the Stomp, which I still don't know what it does. Get out of that. Refresh energy pot. Again, dodge behind him. Stop doing that. Why am I suddenly not life-stealing? Energy pot up again. Okay, come here. This is easier place to see what you're doing. Again, why? Why do I keep doing this? Okay, you can fire this here, that's fine. This time I didn't fuck it up. Get out of that. Okay, move away from the pools. Ow. That was just a normal attack. What the hell? not standing in that. Ooh. I fucked up. Get out of that. He's still almost one-shotting me. Holy shit. I thought that was the claw attack. Holy shit, that hurts. Oh, I'm not used to that move. Mistake. Panic setting in. I thought that was the claw attack. It wasn't. This was the claw attack. Again, behind him. It's the usual reflex. You dodge behind. This guy just does not hit you. Now that's a stomp. He was just not dying, is he? Feels like I've been holding him on half health for the last 2 minutes or something. No, 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 no. Mistake. That's the stomp. Dead. Come on. Why? That was just a normal attack. Ooh. It looks like, yeah. Yes. He was holding at like half health for so long. It was like... I'm not getting enough time to do good DPS to him because I'm constantly dodging attacks, even those that I shouldn't probably dodge. But then again, he killed me with a normal attack, not a special move. So I guess being too careful might not be the problem. Maybe me not being tanky enough or having buffed the enemies too much might be the problem. I mean, it was better, but I still, like, 50% of what I said during that fight was I fucked up, I fucked up, I fucked up. I'm constantly doing the wrong moves. Dodging through him, not recognizing the big claw attack, wind up. It's possible also that having the dogs might be hurting me slightly. Because if he's life-stealing a lot, the dogs are not very survivable, so they take a lot of damage, which means he will heal a lot from them. But they are also my source of damage reduction, because they have Infernal Breath, 19%. That might be one of the things that's keeping me alive. We'll get there, hopefully. But I must say I'm kind of shocked how much damage I'm taking, not just from the Dread, but like from other enemies as well. Given how much defensive ability I have, I mean, those are numbers that I would be super happy with on any other character. So I'm surprised that I'm taking so much. Is it attacks? Is it all attacks or just some specific ones that lifesteal Tharpin? Can you check? Because if it's just specific ones, I can maybe avoid those, but if it's everything, then I just need to DPS more. It's obvious that they are adamant you're not supposed to face tank this guy just because of the pool that he summons. Like, minus 90% damage is obviously not something you're gonna overcome. So you have to keep moving. They also don't want you to just dodge through his Sunder and keep attacking, because he will turn with you on the attacks. Creates too much distance, the stomp will stun you. It seems to not be that dangerous in melee for some reason. I also should finish devotions. I want the offensive ability. Okay, 3,400. It's actually better than that because we have a lot of defensive ability reductions on enemies. We have 250 here. Oh, 210. Oh, I lost some points here. From what? Oh, I had recklessness on the boots that I threw away. Fully charged. This. Oh, he also disrupts, so a good thing I have the disrupt protection. And that's gonna take a while to learn. I mean, I've already killed the Dread 4 times with a character that knows nothing about its skills, just because, you know, Beast Caller Conjurer. That's kind of what you do. You just don't care about anything. Need to not accidentally click on the door, because I want to go back to Kernhold and turn off the Dread. I do not want that to ruin my run. Might even turn off... Oh, I'm revered with Barrowholm already. Might even turn off the Tempest Totem bonus if I can. I don't actually know how this works. I know you can readjust the bonuses, but I don't know if you can keep the ones you have and just remove one. I'm still learning how this works. Oh, damn it. That's a shame about that attack, but thank you for the info, Tharpin. That's helpful. Okay, so Kernhold. Let's see what we can do with this Ascension Altar. How exactly that works. Can I just remove a thing? No. If it's active, it's just active. I can only add to it. I cannot remove. I cannot even restart it. Like scrap everything and just... Right, like if I wanted to add more... No, the offerings are locked in. I cannot change anything. I can't even add materials here. Okay, so it's just on forever. Okay. But I am going to turn off the Dread for the dungeon. Then I'm gonna turn it back on again. Or maybe I will restart afterwards. Fun is a... not the word I would use. I mean, it's not like I'm bored or anything, but like you basically just stand there and let the pets do it. I don't think I even have to resummon them much. I didn't even learn that he has the minus 90% or the 90% damage reduction. The pets just stood in it and tanked it. No, I think I did need to resummon them. I just wasn't sure what was killing them. Invoker I already have. There was an item I wanted to keep. What was it? It was the Drangul... Oh no, the Harbinger Blade. Because there was double rare. And it's for the next build I'm gonna be playing. Also want to save the Pakla because it's required for some blueprint. Oh yeah, the double rare girdle. Ah, Night Herald. I still don't know what you're for. I don't think builds really use that item. Okay, that's a Milton cask. That was also a consideration for a future build. I already saved enough of these for crafting, so I'm not gonna keep more. That's another warrant. There's our sword. Or dagger. That I want to keep. Sun Herald. Oh yeah, because they can drop monster infrequents from other monsters now. Okay, everything goes into the stash. And we do the dungeon. For the lore. And for the lol. Papers go here. The weapons. Want you. This is just for crafting garbage. Where do I put this? And this belt is very handy. This goes into my personal stash. And this goes onto the screen. The city is rotting. Men here have mercy. How much more can go wrong in this rotting city? When the dumping grounds in old towns started overflowing with refuse, people started piling up their garbage in the streets. When that wasn't enough, the heavy rains flooded the dumps and caused the retaining walls to break, unleashing a deluge of filth and rot into the district. Those that haven't already left are getting sick. Soon there won't be anyone left in the oldest part of town. To make matters worse, the city guard has begun rounding up anybody that speaks up about the recent catastrophes. They search our carts and our homes without asking. Many blatantly steal and look us in the eye as they do it, as if daring us to lash out. If you resist, they arrest you. If they suspect you of plotting against the authorities, they arrest you. Is there no justice left in Walbury? I stopped by Owald and Helen's home the other day to find their door broken in and marked with a strange symbol. I'm told Helen was a suspected witch and Owald was taken in for questioning for harboring her all these years. I've never heard a more preposterous thing. I left quickly lest somebody accuse me too. This was my home, but now it feels like a dark, strange place. It no longer feels safe. And it's gonna get worse as we go in. Okay, so Dread is banished for now. I must say, it is a bit of a shame that you cannot turn off the altar. Like, let me reset it within the same session. I guess they don't want that. Because then you would be able to reset it midway through a dungeon when you're getting to the dangerous part. They want you to commit. If you're gonna be doing this run, this dungeon, at this difficulty, then you get to stick to it all the way through. You can have it not active for the first half, and then turn it on for the second, but you can do the opposite. I guess that makes sense, design-wise. At least we can turn off the Dread. That was a good addition in the hotfix. Okay, so again, we cannot open a Rift Gate, because we are in a challenge dungeon. And in here somewhere is Locksmere. And we have a nemesis. Immediately. Who are you? Valdaran. Great. Don't get shotgunned. I might actually... No, it doesn't work on Valdaran. I was gonna say, just gonna let the pets do the thing. But Valdaran won't let you, he will teleport you in. Valdaran is the only enemy that is able to manipulate your positioning. Nobody can knock you back, nobody can swap you like he can. Oh, he turned it on. No. No, he didn't. Now he did. Okay, I'm gonna wait it out. You're not gonna let me, are you? Okay, now it's turned off. Let's kill him. potion. Almost forgot to reapply it. He's gonna re-up it, so I'm gonna go away. Wait for it to drop. No! Leave me alone. Okay, it fell. For those who don't know, what Valdaran does is he has a buff that he places on himself. That's whenever he gets hit by a projectile from anything, or something that... Some things the game considers projectiles even though they aren't, he will fire back a barrage of projectiles. Oh, lightning, and I think there's some physical damage in there as well. So if you're up close and you have something like your hounds over here, firing off the Korvac projectiles, that will just shoot out a barrage of lightning straight into your face. And because it's multiple projectiles fired at the same time, and it's up in close proximity, you will get shotgunned. You eat all of the projectiles in the volley straight up. If you're at a distance, it's actually less punishing, but even that isn't safe, because he has the ability to teleport to you or swap positions with you and put you in a bad spot. At least he doesn't sunder, but he's still very dangerous. Melee characters that don't have any source of projectiles on any of their procs and stuff, those are fine. Against them, he's super easy. But we don't have that fortune. Because we have Blizzard firing projectiles, I think Tsunami might also be counted as a projectile. And then the Hellhound Breath and the Korvac eye spinny thing. So it's a lot of incidental stuff, and I think even ticks from Curse of Frailty might proc it every second. And same thing possibly with Bone Chilling, what is it called? Bone Chilling Cry, yeah. So, welcome to Valbury. This place is the only place where I found a piece of the Fangs of Esterkarn secret quest that I found on my own. It's not that difficult, actually. That one's the obvious one. After that, it was just Google hunting. Ah, fucking mirror. If I had nullification, you would see. You'll all see. Okay, so... I'm turning off items and then forgetting to turn them back on. Missing drops. Okay, I'm gonna back up so that nothing aggroes to me while I'm reading. Port Valbury Mayor's Journal, Part 1. It has become quite obvious that I have angered some very determined enemies. No less than 3 assassination attempts in as many weeks. Outrageous. My position is not that important to the Empire to warrant such aggression. Nor am I that despised by any of the factions within the city, not to my knowledge. No, this doesn't feel politically driven. It's as if it were a personal vendetta. With the identities of the assassins pointing in several disparate directions, it is difficult to paint a full picture. I need more information. My advisors now insist that I have 4 guards with me at all times. What a bother. Advisor Aldridge has suggested that, until we know more about the nature of my attackers, I should avoid all public hearings to minimize risk. I believe he is using this as an opportunity to solidify his position, but he is not wrong either. For now, I will play to his tune and stay out of public affairs. Aldrich and the rest of the council will attend to the public while I delve to the bottom of this plot against me. Carlos Struan, Mayor of Port Valbury. Aldrich... I'm not gonna spoil it, but... we'll get to that. I don't actually know where Locksmere exactly spawns. I just know he spawns somewhere in here, so I need to be on the lookout. And ideally try to fight him one-on-one without any distractions. Also, that freeze was weird. That happened on my screen as well. It wasn't the stream. I am not confident about fighting these obelisks. It's not the obelisk itself, it's the fire zombies that he's spawning that are the problem, because they explode for a lot of damage when you kill them. So if you run towards the obelisk and they surround you and you just kill them, you might kill yourself doing it. Okay, who is this? Alexander again? Oh, you missed. Don't get hit by that. Preserver sphere, that's not great. Oh yeah, these goddamn sentient aether spirits. Against these, the protection potion doesn't work, because they are a single, like, sentient entity. So it's not considered an environmental effect, it's sourced from an enemy. So the potion won't prevent that. It will prevent this aether ground, but not the ones moving around. So we are looking for Archivist Thelen, which can spawn somewhere in here, but he didn't, because otherwise we would see the marker. Treasure Trove. Bendigo Spirit, Ugden Bloom. Always wishing for an aspect of Baronath, but that's probably too ambitious. Oh, do I even want to? It's dangerous. I was gonna say I'm gonna open a portal, but I can't, so I'm just gonna have to risk it for the biscuit. Drink the potion for protection. Okay, not too bad. Ashes of Awakening. Oh, crap, come on. That was a clickable there, and it spawned demons. You can't trust anything in this game anymore. Even the loot is trying to kill you. It's damaging me. I have some sort of curse on me. Okay, so in here there's gonna be a barrier that closes. Or it can. Okay, it's not here. There are two locations in this dungeon where there's like a randomly generated chest that closes you in. It can be here, or it will be inside a house further on. Progress in Old Town. Oh, also, I didn't even notice. So this is a bit of an in-joke. Agarad, every challenge dungeon has a special vendor in there that sells monster infrequent items for the faction the dungeon belongs to. So in here it would be ethereal monster infrequents. In Steps of Torment it was undead. Agarad was for some reason bugged for a long time, where he would have one specific spawn point where he was supposed to be, and actually no, he had multiple. And instead of spawning in just one of them, sometimes he would spawn in multiple of them. So sometimes there were two spawn points right next to each other and you would have two of the same shopkeep with two different inventories. They fixed it, but now they added new ones. Agarad, the Misspelled Soul. And he sells absolute garbage. These are just normal items. And they're all over this place. Like, there's so many of them. The real Agarad is still here, but you have to check now which shopkeep is the correct one. And there is one Agarad that's different, and that one is relevant to the secret quest. I'm gonna show him when we get there. If we get there and don't die before then. And again, even though it's a shopkeep, I cannot sell anything here. So you only have the inventory that you came in with. You cannot haul multiple loads of items out of here. Progress in Old Town. As you requested, I have made contact with many of the less reputable arrivals here at port. I made it clear to them that big changes are on the horizon and permitted them to smuggle in contraband unchecked. In exchange, some of the sailors are now working for me to spread rumors, gather information and eliminate unwanted interruptions if need be. The rumor regarding an impending rise in taxes has gone like wildfire, and townspeople are rightfully displeased. We also successfully diverged all garbage collection to the already overflowing dump into Old Town. The nearby homeowners are naturally very upset by this, and I suspect complaints will soon be arriving at the mayor's offices for you to intercept. So long as you keep the mayor oblivious to the larger problems arising in Port Valbury, we should be able to stir up a mob within weeks. Already I am receiving word of growing dissent in taverns and secret gatherings to discuss city matters. The city is reaching a boiling point. The fear-mongering regarding witches has also turned up far more candidates than we even anticipated. Paranoid or simply selfish, people are reporting their neighbors for completely innocuous acts, but it is all the excuse the city guard needs to apprehend these women and bring them to the docks, where our new associates smuggle them to Malmouth. We will learn more about what they're doing with the women in Malmouth, more than we would ever want to learn, unfortunately. Yeah, it's Kraflin, it's in the description, and also if you put in exclamation mark build in chat, you will get a link as well. That one is always up to date, the ones in the video description. As I keep changing the build, I'm not gonna every time go back to the old videos and change the link there. So some of those will be outdated over time, but the one that you can get in the chat is currently up to date. It's not up to date entirely because I crafted this session, I crafted these boots, and they're not the ones that I'm aiming for. So the affixes here are different to what you will see there. Exclamation mark, not question mark. I take particular delight when I see a noblewoman brought to my doors, knowing that some rich pompous family is forever ruined by rumors and spite. But it will not be long before they all burn for the injustices they enjoyed for generations. Jaren, Port Valbury Harbor Master. And we will meet Jaren, I believe. Jaren the Plague Warped. Yeah, I do have the Ice King set. If you want to see the journey that it took to get it, though, last stream was very eventful. I tried to farm it, and after like 2 hours of that, I just caved in and brute forced it through rerolling set items into different sets until I got the 3 pieces that I was missing. But the crafting after that was very successful, I must say. I have all double rare items, that is, and it didn't cost me an absolute fortune. It didn't eat all of my Ashes of Awakening, which is what I feared. And as for how good Ice King is, I can't tell yet. I do feel squishier than I expected, that's for sure. I thought when I put the builds together for the first time in Grim Tools, I was shocked by how much defensive ability I had. Like, I thought, I'm gonna be untouchable. Enemies are gonna be missing me, they're gonna be doing less damage because of the discrepancy. Nobody's gonna ever crit me, and I'm taking quite large hits. My health could be better, but my Phys Res isn't bad, my armor is okay. But for some reason I'm squishy. At least I feel squishy. Maybe that's just how the game is now. Like, I haven't really played endgame in 3 years. I mean, that's not quite true. I did some build testing as things change over the patches, but like the last time I did proper build crafting and build testing was in 9.8. So there it is, the chest. Ascendant Spoils. These you also can't trust, because they can also spawn the chthonics. I'm gonna check Bloodlust armor. I think you can craft the Bloodlust set, right? I'm just gonna pause and look into Grim Tools. Bloodlust. Lust. I think that's craftable. Yeah, I don't need to save that. I should also check while I'm here in the window. I should check stream health. Good. Everything's okay there. So it's possible that endgame has just gotten a little bit spikier in terms of damage, but yeah, I feel vulnerable on this character. The damage is good. It feels good. And the Hellhounds are not a complete afterthought, which is always the worry when you're making a hybrid build. So like, the design is good. They did make it work. I'm just not sure if maybe my iteration is the bad one. Maybe I should get different items for better defenses, more health. Or maybe it's just the build in general. And this, mind you, is with augments that aren't quite right. I am missing health augments because I haven't reached Barrel Home yet. And I'm also missing, I'm using augments on my rings that are more defensive than what I had planned originally. I was planning to use Wraith Scream, which gives me 75 offensive ability in addition to damage. Instead, I'm using Adept's Glare, which is giving me defensive ability and health. So I'm technically tankier in that respect, but less tanky because I don't have the Barrel Home augments yet. I'm hesitant to read lore notes here because the spirits just keep harassing me. Wait, why am I getting page 5 and page 2? I'm gonna keep these because... Actually, no, I should read them in the order that they appear in because it allows the devs to reveal things over time instead of me getting the whole picture immediately. I don't know which one I picked first, but whatever. Page Rainhole Part 5. Last night I heard somebody scream. I'm gonna close this window so I see the spirits moving around. Last night I heard somebody scream. When I went upstairs to check, I saw some people wandering the streets, but it was a strange, aimless sort of walk. Nobody spoke. Then I heard the scream again, and I turned my head to a most grisly sight. A putrid thing of foul flesh dragged a man out of some rubble and disemboweled him. I stifled a scream of my own and quickly ran back downstairs. All the commotion had caused my husband to stir, and he stood up for the first time in days. But his eyes were glazed over and dull, and his movements like the people outside. His skin was chalk white, and his chest did not move with the rhythmic breathing of the living. Hands shaking, I grabbed the revolver he gave me and pointed it at his head. He did not talk. He did not even try to move out of the way. He just kept approaching me in a slow, unsteady gait. At the moment I understood what wandered the streets outside, and I clenched my tear-swollen eyes as I pulled the trigger. I can't sleep anymore. My husband's body lies next to me, a hole in his skull. There is nothing left for me here. It's time to go before no hope of escape remains, before my strength has left me. I have to run until my legs can carry me no further, away from Walbury, away from my shattered life. Actually, read them in the wrong order. I should have read this first. Page Rainhole Part 2. Several of our neighbors have moved away. They've had enough of the growing garbage problem and the sudden surge in crime here in Old Town. Omir and Shara are the latest to leave. Shara was crying when she begged us to come with them. But our business is here and we can just pack up. Food around city is starting to be rationed. Shops are closing. Alden and I are keeping our shop open, but he has started hiding cheese and other food down in the basement, just in case, he says. I wonder if maybe Shara was right. Maybe you should be leaving too. Now something is missing. There is no mention of her husband becoming sick. Did I miss a lore note? Actually, gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up so I don't have to come back. So that is gonna be our world map. Old Walbury. Where's the rift? There's the rift. That's Port Walbury. This is City is Rotting. I found that one. Mayor's Journal. Progress in Oldstown. I found that. Journal of Page Rainhall, Part 5. Part 2. Okay, so I found everything. So they are out of order. And the context for her husband not being well is supposed to be missing. Okay. Oh, also, if you have the potion that prevents environmental damage, the poisonous water in here is not gonna hurt you. Blackguards of Black Blades. That's a new one. 25% chance when hit. Basically no recharge. Piercing chaos damage. Icebound Savagery, Blade Trap. Pierce, Chaos, Cold. Huh. There's a number of builds that could use this. Interesting that it gives points to Temper when it's supporting Pierce, Chaos, and Cold. Okay, this is another misspelled Agarat, so nothing there. That one also sells garbage. All of the misspelled ones are useless. They're just a distraction. So that you possibly miss the one that you need to get. Gildam Arcanum, page 1. To understand the flows of the Aether, one must first learn to appreciate its inherent risks. The arcane art is not a plaything, nor is it a tool meant to be abused. Countless young arcanists have lost their lives to carelessness and malpractice. Proper control of the Aether requires years of practice under the careful supervision of the Gildam Arcanum, the only formal office sanctioned to instruct and research the art of the arcane. Do not confuse what is lectured here with the teachings of the hypothetical witch gods, or common misconception amongst the uneducated. There are no gods. There is only reality and the science of the arcane. About that. A knife in the dark. My dearest Naomi, I have kept no secrets from you, and you know I have lived a dark and treacherous life. From an early age, I was trained to kill. Murder was my trade, the shadows my refuge. I truly believed that was all life had in store for me. But then I found happiness. I found you. Through you, I learned the joys of life. But there is more to me than a blade in the shadows. It was better than I ever deserved, but my old life came at a price. I made many powerful enemies I cannot protect you from. Some men from my past dealings have come forward with an offer to hide us from those that would seek to harm you in order to get at me, if I do one last job for them. I cannot allow you to become a victim of my former self, so I must ask your forgiveness. I have to do something I swore to you that I would never do again. I am writing this letter because I have agreed to take on a very dangerous task. It will ensure your safety. Take the money I have left with this note. Use it to get out of the city and far from here. Do not tell anyone where you are going. If I succeed, I will find you. But if you never hear from me again, I want you to live your life and know that you are the only light in my dark. Knowing that I've kept you safe is the only reward I need. All my love, Caval. I wonder if Caval may have been one of the guys sent to assassinate the mayor. Or maybe they sent him to assassinate someone even more important? Though, I wonder who, because the Emperor of Erulan wasn't assassinated. Not by him. We know who killed him. It was Algrim. Journal of Page Rainhall, Part 3. Men broke into the shop. They cleaned out the store and shattered Alden's leg when he resisted. The bone was sticking right through the skin of his thigh, and I don't know what to do. The only doctor is in Hightown, but the bridge has been blocked off by the guard. I wrapped it as best as I could, but it still bleeds occasionally. We've been hiding in the basement since that night. Alden wakes up from time to time, but he seems confused and feverish. We should have left weeks ago, when the others did. Occasionally I hear someone entering upstairs and rummaging through the shelves. I hope that they don't discover the stairwell leading down here. I'm so scared. Okay, so that is the context for what happened to her husband. Now in here are the Flames of Valbury. That is essentially the challenge room, similar to what we had in the other challenge dungeons. Again, forgetting to reapply my energy potion for the armor bonus. I'm sure by the time I learn to keep doing this consistently, I'm gonna be swapping a build and getting a completely different play pattern again. It's gonna be like with mobility skills. Some builds have none, some builds have like 2 or 3, so I have to, every time I swap a build, I have to remember how to play it, and then I forget the moment I swap to something else. Now it's gonna be potions as well. Lordkeeper's Brand. There's our chest. Hopefully it doesn't spew Chthonics. It doesn't. Glacial Basilisk Crest. I mean, the Glacial isn't great for Ravenous Earth. Is cold Ravenous Earth even possible? Maybe there's a conduit for it? Cold Ravenous Earth actually wouldn't be bad, because Necromancer is good with cold. Which makes me think it doesn't exist on a conduit. Usually conduits give you weird conversions, not conversions to damage types you would normally want. Can I pick this up, please? Thank you. Oh, so I picked up another note, right? In the chest area. The girls, I must say, are surprisingly staying alive all of a sudden. Okay, that is Journal of Pain Shrine Hall, Part 1. Life has been good for us here in Port Valbury. Oh, that's an interesting way to start, considering the other notes that we read. Alden and I have been happily married for 3 years now. Our business is thriving, and Alden was hopeful to get a second shop opened up in Hightown by this time next year. But he came home from the court disappointed. Apparently, the mayor has been denying all requests for an audience, and his newly appointed High Advisor dismissed Alden's appeal for a deed without even hearing his case. Now there's the mess with the garbage spilling out of the old dumping ground. Everyone I've asked doesn't seem to know anything about why trash has been redirected to the already full dump in our district. The new curfew also hasn't been kind to business, as we've had to close down early each night. Omir and Shara are both terrified. They think something is wrong and we should all leave the city. Alden says there's nothing to be concerned about. The old dump is actually the spot that we're going to be headed next. I think, because we are in Old Town, so that is the area they are talking about. Why am I suddenly losing so much health? I mean, I know I'm standing in Aether ground, but it should be life-stealing. Nemesis, that sounds like Alexander. Yeah, he's too fast for Valdaran. What? I tried to dodge that. Okay, I need to wait it out. Don't know why my dodge didn't go off. Storm Titan, Fiend Master. No, thank you. I mean, I'm gonna take it. I want the money. Maybe also blow some of it up for materials. Although that costs money, not gives me one. In here somewhere should be the shopkeep, and it's not. Okay, so he moved somewhere else. The real shopkeep that's supposed to... Oh boy. They are so loud, holy shit. The real shopkeep that sells one of the important items for the secret quest sometimes spawns here, but not this time. Okay, I'm gonna read the lore notes again. That is all of them, right? Or are we missing number 3? I wish it showed you immediately where you are in the list. Four, yeah, that's all of them, unless there's number 6 somewhere. Alden hasn't woken up in a day. I tried to make him eat or drink something, but he can't keep anything down. He is so pale. He's going to die soon. I think I have known this fact for days, but I just didn't want to believe it. The looters have stopped coming by, likely because there's nothing left to steal. I've braved the upstairs to see what has happened since the fighting stopped, and the sight was terrifying to behold. Parts of the city are burning. Most of the homes are abandoned or destroyed. One day I witnessed a couple running between buildings with their child and a small sack of belongings. I should leave too, but I can't leave Alden. I don't understand how the city could turn to this so quickly. One moment we were planning the next stages of our business. The next, the city is in a state of war. The worst of it seems to be over though. It's been quiet. So quiet. Yeah, they're kind of done with the city, unfortunately. For you. Get out of the way. This is also a misspelled one. So again, a fake. And so this is the overflowing dumping ground. If you, the path that I'm taking is the better one, because you want to stick to the high ground. If you go on the low ground, there's poisoned water down there, which will constantly be draining your health. Unless you take the, what is it called? Primordis potion modifier. Protect you against environmental damage. Then you can run down there all you want. Okay, in here is the Harbor Master that left us the lore note. The worst thing is he wasn't even possessed by the ethereals. He just did it for the money. Asshole. Razin waste card, very nice. Jaren's journal, what have I done? Yeah, you're asking a little too late. I am writing this for the record in the event that the High Advisor decides to dispose of me as he already has with the others. I am beginning to fear that I have made a grave error in supporting Van Aldrich in this uprising. The initial plan was devious, but it made sense. Local sailors spread rumors of corruption and tax hikes while the city guard overlooked the crimes committed by my subordinates to stir up gossip. I became a bit uneasy when we started using the rumors about witches to smuggle women to Malmöth, but Aldrich assured me that they would be well taken care of, and we were paid handsomely for each one, so I chose not to question it further. One evening, when we gathered to discuss future plans, Aldrich suddenly began acting very strange. He kept looking over his shoulder as if somebody were watching, and his expression became downright ghastly when he stared at the mirror hanging on my wall. He cut the meeting short and demanded that all future discussions be carried out via courier. Very strange, but I did not think much of it at the time. Figured the old man was getting paranoid as his plans came to fruition. That left me to deal with Captain Brastock directly. I have never met a more cruel and opportunistic man in my life, and I know every sailor that comes through these parts. I can't imagine it took much to convince him to join the High Advisor's schemes. He informed me that the reports of witches were coming in too slowly, so his men began planting weapons in people's homes to warrant arrests. Each ship sailing to Malmöth is now overflowing with would-be criminals. What Aldrich needs all those people for is beyond me. It was not until the day Aldrich asked me to transport several large boxes to him in Hightown that I started to suspect something was amiss. Seemed innocent enough at the time until one of the crate ropes snapped and a crate dropped several feet onto the cobblestones. The wood splintered in several places and a sickening smell flared up our nostrils and made our skin crawl. The crate shook as if something was alive in there. I could make out a faint green light through the cracks in the side. I had my men carry that thing out of my docks as soon as able. But it was not till the day of Captain Brastock's very bloody public execution that I began to suspect that we are all merely pawns in Aldrich's game, and that in the end the only winner of this uprising would be none other than the High Advisor himself. Needless to say, I am keeping a close eye on the mayor's offices, and I doubled the pay of my bodyguards. Aldrich isn't going to get rid of me so easily. Jaren, Old Valbury Harbormaster. You done fucked up, bro. Okay, these guys I can ignore. They're taking the long way around. Okay, so that's all the shopkeepers here. All of them are misspelled, so none of them are relevant. In the second area, the last area of this, we have a number of points of interest. Firstly, we have another. Ah, there he is. So, Agorat's intern. Oh, what's new in 0.6? I'm not gonna stop the stream for it, but hoping there's some nice fixes for us. Agorat's intern soul. So, this guy is what the other shopkeepers are trying to distract us from. I'm gonna clear this place out so that I'm not interrupted while I'm browsing. Okay, that's good to know. Rather more than less in this case. Okay, so this is another misspelled soul, we don't care about him. But Agorat's intern here. Okay, this is garbage, we don't care. This is garbage, we don't care. So what's there to see? This. Shadow Fart. Har har har. The blade reads, Authentic Replica, Series 5 of 6. Do not offer to primordial powers. So, what do we learn from this? There is 6 of these, hidden in some places. We don't know where. And it's apparently part of some primordial ritual. So this, alongside other 6 parts, other 5 parts I should say, needs to be collected together and then brought to a certain ritual place, let's say. I'm not gonna spoil it. To be combined into one whole. And then that one whole is used for the secret quest in Fangs of Esthercard. There are already guides out there, especially on the forums, that have a full description of everything you need to do for that quest. Hats off to anybody who figures that on their own, because holy hell, it's that absolute madness. I should order my doggos to attack only him. Company. I didn't drink my mana potion again. Energy potion. Sorry. Old habits die hard. And also you can't teach an old dog new tricks, apparently. It's the worst combination, isn't it? You learn something, you can't unlearn it, and you can't learn anything new. Clear this place first. There's Valdaran. I'm gonna go away so that he doesn't teleport me into a dangerous spot. I'd rather he comes to me out in the open. Oh, here he comes. Okay, this can wait. Okay, that's the shield. Do not attack him for fear of getting blown up. That also hurts though. That's the shield again. And that lightning bolt really hurts. There he goes, another warrant. Sash of the Bloodlord, what's your conversion rate? Only 51%. So, we have the wanted paper and... Oh, the stash is on the other end, other side of the barricade. Resummon. Where is it? Oh, my inventory is really filling up now. Wanted poster. Notice of Luminary Directive. The Luminary have long suspected that witches are hiding among regular people, even here in Port Valbury. Any individual performing unsanctioned arcane acts or dispersing forbidden knowledge without the training and approval of the Gildam Arcanum is rightfully marked as a heretic and a witch. Citizens are reminded that all arcane knowledge is dangerous without proper training and is strictly controlled for your safety by the Imperial Decree. Diligent citizens are encouraged to report suspicious activity to the offices of Van Aldrich, High Advisor to the Mayor of Port Valbury. Anyone suspected of witchcraft or harboring a witch will be detained at the local jail and then transported to Malmöth for formal inquiry and trial. Individuals found guilty of the aforementioned crimes will be burnt at the stake, as decreed by the Imperial High Court. Responsible citizens who perform their duty in the interest of public safety by reporting these malicious acts will be justly compensated with Imperial coin. By order of High Advisor, Van Aldrich. Piece of shit. Kill the arcane. Kill the arcane. That is a lot of debuffs, holy shit. Are most of them mine? Probably. I didn't see a reflective, but doesn't mean he wasn't there. That was an interesting jump. And there is Archivist Salon. Just to make sure, I'm gonna pronounce it differently every time to piss off everybody. It's gonna be Archivist, Archivist, and everything in between. There's Tormented Soul. So, he sells Ethereal Monster Infrequence. Any double rares? Otherwise, we don't care. No, and Savage we already have. Oh, some crystals for us. Thank you. So let's get what we came for. No demons in this one. I wonder how the demons even fit in the chest. I get that they're not inside the chest literally, but it is a funny image. Oh, you piece of shit. That is Locksmere. You asshole. Really not the time to be here. Okay. Pull him out of there. Come on. Motherfucker! Well, why did he have to spawn there? Okay, retry. I cannot enter again, so I have to exit out. I'm gonna do it this time without beefing up the enemies, so that I actually succeed. Man, that sucks. I don't remember his Shadow Strike hitting that hard. I do know that his Dispel was a pain in the ass, but the Shadow Strike, one-tapping me, was 18,000 health gone. Oh no, I don't have 18,000 health yet. Because I haven't reached Barrowholm. Well, actually almost. I should have more. That sucked. Alright, I'm going to leave the Dread on until I reach the dungeon. I'm gonna take it a little less thoroughly now, because we wasted a lot of time. I also need to sell stuff, because I'm more or less full. So only gonna keep double rares, which I don't think I found any. If I do sell by accident, oh well. I should keep an eye on those belts, because these are handy. But I don't currently have concrete plans for a build that needs them, so I guess I can skip them for now. There was a double rare here. Did remember something? It's not double rare. Okay, so I'm not gonna explore everything anymore. I'm just gonna beeline it for where we died. And finish the dungeon. I want to move forward in Ashes. And it's already midnight, holy hell. I only have like an hour, so I guess I won't even make it through the Ashes. To the point where I was expecting. Oh yeah, and I think the Dread is currently turned off, right? It remembers it in between sessions. Okay, I will turn it back on. Maybe we can do it when it's not beefed up. Homestead. And just run. Of all the spawn points where the Archivist could be, why did he have to be right next to Locksmere? Me through. Though I guess maybe I should do some fighting here if I want to fight the Dread on normal ground. Because I'm gonna turn it off again when I go in. To not endanger the success of the mission. So did I even check the house? I did. Okay. Get me through. This is all blocked. So I have to run around. Just across. Yeah, I guess I'm not killing enough enemies to spawn the Dread here. I get maybe a Nemesis, but not more than that. You do want to be able to kill the dread on every character at least once so that you can get your skill point, because there's a quest related to it. And they're definitely going down much faster when I'm not beefing them up. Nemesis, you spawned in an interesting spot. It's very far away. Jackal's Step. Okay, so across we go. Let's kill the Nemesis while we're here. Oh! Good aim, dude. Right on the noggin. Soul fragments. Okay. So no dread for us. Gonna go turn it off. I guess I can you maybe do it in Homestead as well? Is it now in every town? Banish. Go back in. Hopefully we get the Archivist spawning closer this time. One of the problems with Locksmere is that the longer you take to fight him, the more opportunity you give him to blow you up. Usually the go-to strategy was always just go after him and kill him ASAP before he has time to nullify you. That was maybe my mistake. I provoked him into using Shadow Strike. If I stayed in melee, I could have been fine. Yeah, unless it's a hero, I'm not even gonna fight it. Because heroes can drop... I think heroes can drop Ashes of Awakening, not just bosses. No, certainly they can. Because we are getting them from the Chthonics that are spawning from the chests, and those are heroes, not bosses. It's also a decent place to farm up some crystals. We've also spent quite a few of those in our crafting and adventures. It's just to craft the relics, I had to get 10 Marks of Mogdrogen, which eat up a whole bunch of Aether crystals. I'm thinking I actually should maybe buy the replica sword from the intern, because you can, I think you can only get the completed thing once per character, and the weapon actually isn't bad at all. I might actually want multiple copies of it. So since I'm here, I might as well maybe get the one that's located in her. Ah, perfect, he is here. Celestial Lotus, nice. I've also burned through a lot of those. Okay, let's clear the area. So it's just us and Talon. Okay, that might be too much. Don't need to pull these. Oh, you cast Devastation now. That's new. That's new. Not anymore. Okay, so now we can die in peace. Knowing we completed this part. I'm gonna look around if the intern is in here somewhere. This is the misspelled one. Is that a... There is an Ascendant Spoils. Okay, I'm gonna go there. This is also misspelled. There's a totem, misspelled, misspelled. There's the intern. Okay, so I need to make it to the top of the garbage dump. And that's Locksmere. Okay, let's just do you in. ASAP. So much easier when you don't panic. And all that for Locksmere's Frostblade, which I don't even think is a good item. At least he dropped 2 of them, so I guess that's good. Ashes Awakening, Herald of Amatok. That was the item that I was planning for the Cold Blitz. Pain, because Cold Blitz, Cold Leap as well, which can be a decent spender for your own slot stacks. You blitz them once, then you leap them once, and you let the damage over time do its thing. Where's the entrance? This way. I might as well. Well, first the totem. Right, it's in here. Because that can drop ashes for us. I'm not sure the chest can. MSAs. It's Alex. That was my dogs, you monster. That was a Celestial Lotus, if I saw correctly. Rune Brands, Rune Guards, very runic equipment, Siege Breaker. Okay, let's see if this can drop ashes or not. Sure thing. Good night, Tarpin. Thank you for hanging out. I'm gonna wrap it up soon as well. Probably just gonna finish this and yeah, continue Ashes of Malmus on Monday. Again, no stream on the weekend. Though I'm probably still gonna spend that time doing some Grim Dawning, maybe finishing the theory craft for my next build, so it's ready to go when we finish this one. No ashes, okay. Is that cool? That's cool. Okay, up here. And he is at the top. I'm gonna buy his sword. I do know where all the others are. Maybe I could do that at the end of the stream. Although people might want to figure that... Well, no, that's... I'm just gonna say it at the end that I'm gonna do it, and if people don't want spoilers, then they can tune out for that. Just starting to think, do I actually know all of them? Off the top of my head, I know several right now, but do I know all 6? Okay, so I'm gonna buy this. Need to make sure I don't sell it on accident. Also lost my doggos. This is not the way out. This is the way out. drink. Delicious water. Turn around. Ah, there we have Ascendant Spoils. Oh, that reminds me, I missed the Ascendant Spoils on the previous ones. Not missed, I didn't make it that far. They were on the other side of the house. Shoulder Guards of Fenris. That was the set that I was originally planning to use as my first build. Before I learned that they changed how transformations work, that they're no longer temporary. With that, Fenris kind of lost its appeal. That was the one of the sealed chests in here. One that I mentioned on the first run would be in the port. This is the one in the house. I'm gonna check Agarat again, although I didn't even check where he spawned. Is this the real one? It is, okay. So maybe his spawn point is always here now? He doesn't move around anymore? I mean, that would make sense, because I think the other vendors... That's true. The one in Steps of Torment doesn't move around. The one in Bastion of Chaos might still move around, just a little bit. So what do you have for us? I swear this thing kills me while I'm looking at the inventory. No double rares. Okay. So this is as far as we made it before we ran into Locksmith last time. And got panicked to death. Sonic Heresy Part 4. Now, we don't even have the other parts of it. But that's a completely random drop. You do not break sequence on purpose there. It just happens. Can't be those reflecting guys. Why? Why so many? Does Kraid hate physical players? Is that the reason? Sonic Heresy Part 4. Justice, my brothers. Justice shall be swift and merciless, for it was tempered with faith, blood, and fear. Justice shall descend upon the heretic, unforgiving and relentless. Those that take up arms against the Chthonian shall become the fiery vengeance of divine retribution. Those that call the Chthonian gods shall taste righteous flame. Justice be done. We don't even know. Maybe it's in the initial part, but who wrote it? Was it Gaiman, maybe? Actually, that never occurred to me. I thought it was written by the Luminari, maybe, but Gaiman would make sense. Can I walk up the stairs? Old Valbury Mayor's Journal Part 2. To shift. Are you coming after me? Okay, I'm gonna have to resolve this guy. No, he wasn't. Well, and he's still not. Are you not noticing something's wrong, sir? Okay.
Victory.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but why? Okay, Port Valbury Mayor's Journal Part 2. I no longer know what game Aldrich is playing, but it has come at a cost to our citizens, and that I cannot allow to continue. Whether out of malice or plain incompetence, I have not been receiving... Ow. I have not been receiving updates regarding recent events in Port Valbury, the tragically mishandled trash issues in Old Town in particular. I am now hearing rumors of outright revolt and dissent among the citizens. Whatever the council had done in my absence was clearly not done in the best interest of the citizenry. Tomorrow I intend to return to the public eye and remove Van Aldrich from the position of High Advisor. Risk against my life be damned. But there is some good news in all this. Caval, the Nightblade once under my employ, has asked to meet. He promises me information regarding a plot against my life. Oh, so I was right. Yeah, they did send him to assassinate the mayor. So, not good news for you, sir, I'm afraid, but you were a good man. Now, in here should be another lore note. Yep, same dream again. This is the lore note that I came here for from the Coven. This is basically the whole reason why I went here now. I have had the same recurring dream several nights in a row. Hey Sahibkra, welcome back. There are some slight variations, but the context remains the same. Every time I find myself walking through the looming alleyways of Old Town. I don't know who I am, but I can feel fine silk slide over my skin as I walk. The ancient and pitted cobblestones under my feet send shards of broken stone flying with each hurried steps. An unwholesome fog rolls in from the festering dumping grounds that have begun to spill over the retaining walls and into the main road. For some reason, this pleases me. I seem to be aware of details and affairs that I should not know. For example, I know that the fog is not natural. It gathers here by the will of an unseen power pulling the strings. In my dreams, this power is familiar to me, almost welcoming, but as soon as I am free of the dream, the meaning is lost upon my waking mind. I make haste through the concealing fog towards the harbor master's offices. There I find myself in a poorly lit room with two figures obscured by shadows, both men. One is large and loud. He smells of rotting fish and stale beer. The other is also large, but more in physical stature than the girth of his belt. He clings and scrapes with the sound of metal as he moves, a soldier or town guard, perhaps. They talk, but I cannot make out what they say. The sense of dread and malice that pours from these men is palpable. Is a palpable wave of fire. Can't read. Too tired. In my heart, I know that the decisions made around the table will mark the end of the world for mankind. But the last night's dream was different. It kept going. I find myself with a bird's eye view of the city, watching as arcane fire spreads across the horizon. It grows as far as the eye can see and burns all it touches to ash and oblivion. Then, as if floating at the end of a rope, in one heart pull I find myself back in the dark room. The pungent odor of unwashed men and rotting ocean fills my nose. I stare into a cracked mirror hanging on the wall, but I do not see myself staring back. It is the face of the High Advisor, his expression first marked by surprise and then anger. For a brief moment I catch the same fires that consumed the world stirring within his eyes. In that instant the dream shattered and I awoke out of breath and tangled in sweat-soaked sheets. But I knew that it was more than just a nightmare spurred by an overactive imagination. He saw me through the glass, just as I saw him. I bore witness to something I was never meant to see, and now my identity is compromised. I must leave this place, get as far away as I can. I will head southeast across the dark waters. Eerily familiar voices have been calling to me from that area for some time. I don't know why, but in my heart, I am certain that safe haven awaits me in the bog. A boat leaves for Burwich in the morning. I intend to be on it, Kalia. And I think, I could be wrong, I often am, but I think Kalia might be one of the witches that we can meet in the Coven. So the person calling her there is Malostria, the, senior witch of that Coven. And somehow, yeah, she got the ability to dreamwalk, or whatever you would call it. She dreamwalked into an ethereal's mind? That's very strange. Okay, there is another misspelled Agarat, who sells nothing. At least nothing of use. Nemesis, I didn't even hear the sound of it spawning. I have the ethereal debuff on me, that I do not like. I think my Aether Res is good enough. I should get out from the reach of those Aether Crystals. That was cool. Oof. I thought you would be dead by now. Okay, there he goes. Guard Warrant. They're dropping so often. I'm happy about that. I used to sometimes GD stash those because they were so annoying to farm back when the spawns were fixed in location. Now they're gonna be so easy to get. Because not only can you get the Nemesis anywhere, but you can also, on Ascendant Mode, get the same Nemesis multiple times in the same session with ease. Lovely change. There shouldn't be too much more lore. I think there will be some about Aldrich and there will be an NPC to talk to, but should be mostly it. Maybe there'll be a little bit more context about Malmuth, which is also another reason why I came here. Because there is info about what's happening in Malmuth and where some of those people that are trapped in there came from. I should read this. Just exposing you to the elements and Aether itself. So I guess it's reducing my resistance to elemental and Aether damage. Which, that's fine for me, I have plenty of overcap. After the 1.2 patch, or with the 1.2 patch, they got rid of a lot of resistance reductions. So I wanted to make sure that it's still doing the same thing it used to. That was part of the reason why I didn't start fighting Alexander immediately, because I had the debuff on me and he does a lot of Aether damage. But I actually shouldn't have panicked, because I have, what, 45% overcap. Void Soul. I believe you are craftable, right? Actually, let me check. I'm pretty sure it is. Void Soul. Void Soul is... yeah, craftable. No, there's no door there. No door there. Jesus, I can't even talk anymore. It's not just reading that's going, speech is going now too. Hey, I have an excuse. It's been a long week. Actually, the length of the week is exactly the same as last time, but it felt long. Okay, this is not marked. Otherwise, I wouldn't even run back here, but since they can now be void marked and spawn a whole bunch of thingies that give us Ashes of Awakening. I'm curious what my status with Ashes is now. I think I was down to like 60 before I started. Once we get enough, primarily we need enough aspects of Baranath so that I can apply my Ascendant affixes finally. And I think I'm not gonna be too picky with them, because on some of these parts I just don't really have much opportunity to reroll anymore. Well, finally opens. And I'm stuck here. I rerolled several of my items so many times that rerolling the Ascended Affix is gonna be very expensive. Half of them spawned at the wrong side. That sucks. I'm gonna miss out on so much gear. How far would I have to run to get to them? I would have to go all the way this... Screw that. That's not worth it. That's stupid though, that they can spawn at the the chest at the edge, like that. Oh, 1 ashes at least. Oh boy, where are you all going? Why is there so many of you? What are you? Oh, they're fighting the Chthonics. One of them spawned here? What? I opened the chest here. Why would he be? Oh, I opened something in here, right? And he spawned on the other end. That's funny. That provided a nice distraction. Okay, what are you? Valdaran. Okay, I need to lure him out so that when he swaps position with me, he doesn't teleport me into the middle of enemies. Okay, that's his buff, so get away, stop hitting him. Okay, are we done? Okay, now it's off. Oh, it's up again. That was quick. Maybe I'm being a bit too cautious fighting him, but given that I'm inside this dungeon, I don't want to die. Outside, I should be maybe a bit more courageous to test how much I can afford. Gaze of Fates Unwound. Excellent, that's an endgame set. And it's not lying, it is actually the blueprint, because it's sometimes bugged and showing that it's giving you one item and then when you read it, it gives you a different one. Okay. So that's another endgame set. We've already found recipes for 2, which again, that's alarming. Because when I was spending, what, 2.5 hours farming for blueprints on totems in Ultimate, I didn't get a single blueprint. So is it that they're only really dropping on Ascendant reliably? Anecdotal evidence suggests that yes. Which would be a negative change for Ultimates. And I didn't think they were nerfing Ultimate, right? That doesn't sound like something Crate would do. Change of plans. I think this is relevant to Anasteria. Either Anasteria or the witch that saw what's happening. Okay, this is cleared. Okay, so change of plans. I regret to report that our initial efforts in subduing the ruling vessel of Port Valbury have proven unsuccessful. Contrary to previous expectation, this mortal does not exhibit many of the usual vices and mental flaws that allow us to usurp the mind and assume control. I believed his light-hearted and jovial demeanor to mean he didn't care about the city and was only interested in the lavish parties and extravagant lifestyle. This would have been an excellent weakness to exploit, but his outward persona is a mask that masterfully concealed a very sharp mind. Evidently, this is part of his political strategy and has led many an adversary to underestimate him. Although my efforts have proven futile, they were not entirely without success, for I have found my way into the mind of the mayor's trusted advisor, who they call Van Aldrich. He is a petty and scheming man who already harbored desires for the wanted position we sought in Port Valbury. With a few suggestions, I had entered his mind. He belongs to us now. This vessel has many valuable connections within the city, which I used to orchestrate assassination attempts upon the mayor. While those too proved unsuccessful, they have caused the mayor to become increasingly paranoid and fearful for his well-being. As a direct approach seems to be out of the question, I have begun stirring the locals in the interest of destabilizing the region. To facilitate matters, I have used my position to subtly push the mayor's decisions in the direction that suit us, so that the growing dissent goes unnoticed until it is far too late. While this is contrary to our usual methods, I am confident that Port Valbury will be ready for the imminent glorious dawn, and no adjustments will be necessary to our established timeline. Von Aldrich, High Advisor of Port Valbury. Okay, so that's everything, right? Other than those few lingering enemies left over from that chest. So, let's not die here, and we are done with everything. They're not dying very fast, but they are dying. This boss fight is using the tech from Titan Quest, where the Grey Sisters were swapping the one eye they had between each other, and the one that had the eye was always stronger and had access to some new skills, so they are using the same tech. One is always empowered, and you are advised to focus the others. Now, that's our exit out of the dungeon, but we are not quite done yet, because there is a cellar here. And also, lore notes, I can read it here safely because nobody's gonna attack me. A consensus overruled. I must express my disappointment in the consensus to redirect the vessel Theodin Marcel to the strategically insignificant region of Homestead, which is where he worked on the ethereal amalgamation that we found in the barn, which was the main quest there. While I realized that the unexpected and still unexplained sudden disappearance of Anasteria has left the region woefully undersupervised, I believe the attention of the Shaper of Flesh is better served in Melmoth, where his grand work can continue without interruption. I understand that splintering the Black Legion's attention between Fort Icon and the farmlands will be instrumental to their final destruction, but surely such an indelicate matter as the extermination of vermin can be taken upon by a vessel of lesser importance. I anticipate your reply in this matter in due haste, so that a new consensus can be achieved without delay, and the Shaper of Flesh returns to Melmoth. Overall, Aldrich of Port Valbury. Now he's no longer High Counselor, now he's Overlord. Pompous little fucker, aren't you? Katrin. Who are you? Nobody but Aldrich comes down here anymore, unless... when Aldrich lies dead. Are you alright? No, far from it. The horrors I've endured here at the mercy of Von Aldrich will haunt me to my dying days. But I must endure for my baby, Alice. Your baby? Yes, he sent her away on the boats to Melmoth. I begged him to leave her with me. How could he just send her away like that, his own flesh and blood? I can't bear to think of my beautiful little girl out there all alone with those monsters. Wait, Von Aldrich was the father? That monster? Yes, but that was before all of this madness. He swore to make an honest woman of me, but he was greedy and selfish even before he started to change. When my precious Alice came, he swore the baby wasn't his and shunned us. How did you end up down here? When things started to change, he came to me and promised to protect us, but it was all a sick game. He took Alice from me and locked me down here in his little plaything. Come with me, I can lead you to safety. No, I can't. I just can't leave my precious Alice. I have to go find her. You won't make it out there alone. I've seen such horrors down here, locked up like an animal. Every night he came to me to play his little games. I can't leave my Alice to such a fate, or worse. I have to find her. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. You rid me of that monster and I thank you, but I must go and find Alice. She's my baby. I am all that she has. I understand. Be careful out there. We will actually... Once we got out of here... I believe there is some dialogue that relates to Alice in the Coven of Ugdenbog. So, let's get outie. Now, go to Coven of Ugdenbog before I forget about the dialogue. And so firstly, there was the witch that was supposed to move here from Port Valbury. What was her name? It was something with C, I believe. Astria Kalia, I think that was her. I sense that you've traveled far. I wonder, in your travels, have you been to Port Valbury? Yep, that's her. Do you know of its fate? It was my home once, but now it is hidden from me. I no longer see it in my dreams. The city is in ruins. Then it is true, the city has fallen. I fear what began there may be the end of us all. Be wary in your travels, stranger, and thank you for bringing me this news. I will, thank you. A word of caution, stranger, a deceptive spirit has tainted these lands. It seeks only to corrupt and consume. A spirit? The Wendigo corrupts those who fall prey to its trickery and consumes those too weakened to defend themselves. Take care in who you trust out there. I know who you're referring to, but unfortunately I have no choice but to ally with them. What's it like living out here? It is as you'd expect, lonely and dangerous. The others trouble themselves with threads here in the bog, but I try to cast my gaze beyond. Cast your gaze beyond? So secluded from the rest of the world, it is too easy for us to focus on what happens here in our little refuge and forget what is happening in the rest of Cairn. When I stand here at the circle of sight, I see a darkness gathering strength in the north. Our enemies are preparing. We should too. What do you see? I see a vast expanse of aether fire blanketing the land as far as the eye can see. I see a city in ruins, its people shattered, clinging to a meager existence. Mere moments of this destruction is more than I can bear to witness. Okay. That is not who we're looking for. There is someone. This guy is Andros. Sister Goradia has instructed me to aid you in return for your efforts. I have used the Heart of Coraxus to prepare a restorative salve. Sounds good to me. This alone should be sufficient payment, but I've been instructed to offer my help if you should need it in the future. However, my salve takes some time to prepare. Now leave me. I must return to my work. Okay, so this guy restores our constitution. But we are looking for a specific individual. This is a guardian. Can I help you? Seem friendly than the others I've spoken to. I don't immediately assume every stranger is an enemy, though a healthy bit of skepticism helps these days. Don't mistake my demeanor for softness, though. Touch Goradia and you're a dead man. Okay, who is the person I'm supposed to be talking to? I mean, not supposed to be, but there is one person that has some info about the child. Maybe he's in Malmouth instead. There is someone that saw Alice. Is it Ivok, maybe? Welcome, brother. Your reputation precedes you. A reputation? Yes, the threads bring word of your deeds in Devil's Crossing and beyond. But be careful that you are not caught in the spider's grasp. Oh, so he's talking about Bismil. What does that mean? Fair warning, all that is done here is seen and heard. You would be wise to tread carefully. Okay, no, he is not the person. I'm not gonna keep hunting for the NPC. There is one person that knows what's going on with Alice. But I can't find them right now. I'll look it up after. So, I'm gonna go back to Anasteria, turn in the quest. Which is up here. This is gonna cost us more reputation with the Black Legion, but we no longer care. Because with the FX setup that I now have on my items, I no longer need their augments or anything. Also, there is the head of Archivist Thelon. The still glowing aether eyes stare back blankly at you. Go back down. And then to finish off, what time is it? Yeah, I am going to try to to collect the remaining pieces of this sword. So that's gonna be spoilers if you don't want to see the secret quest or parts of the secret quest and want to figure it out yourself. I'm gonna be showing at least this part. I'm not gonna be showing the other part because that's like 17 different places all over the world that I would have to check. And that's just too time consuming. And I would have to constantly keep alt-tabbing to figure out where I have to go next. Have you brought me the Archivist's head? Yes, take it. Ah, Thelon. I hope the journey back to the Aether was as painful as it looks. You spent too long in one body, grown comfortable. I'm sure you never even suspected. So, again, bunch of reputation with Outcast, loss of reputation with the Black Legion. Mythical Storm Shepherd. And it's not terrible. But if we do want this, we probably want 100% conversion, so I would have to reroll it. Do you know this Ethereal? Yes, for countless eons, he and I were one of the first to arrive upon Cairn. But once we took on bodies, our interests had diverged. Spend long enough in a human and you're bound to start thinking like one. So you lied to us. Creed has suspected for some time. I imagine he always knew, but the information I've presented put his morals at odds with necessity. In the end, are the lives saved not worth a few lies? Would you have listened if I had told you the truth? Or would you have killed my host, as Reef wanted? Perhaps you're right, we would have assumed the worst. And you would have been right too. My kind has been cruel to your people, used them like mere tools. I wish to undo that harm, but I cannot do so alone. I have some questions. I'm certain that you do. Why would you betray your own kind? Before I turned upon my masters, I was tasked with conquering the Northlands, starting with Homestead. But inhabiting a human has opened my eyes to an existence I had thought futile and temporary. Human lives, despite being so brief and ultimately pointless, are so rich and full of wonder. I have come to develop feelings for your species, a concept most ethereals cannot even fathom. Ultimately, I see our domination of humanity as cruel. I could no longer contribute to your assimilation. Why are you helping us? I have come to develop feelings for your species, a concept most ethereals that... Is that the same thing? A concept most ethereals cannot even fathom. It would be a shame to turn you into breeding stock, when instead you could become valuable allies in the inevitable battle against Chthon and the minions of the Void. I may not be able to sway the others, but I can help you survive the coming conflict. Believe me, the worst is yet to come. So, is Thelon dead? Unfortunately no, but take solace in knowing that a major player in the ethereal hierarchy has been sent beyond the veil. Were he not so arrogant, or rather human trait, he would have fled the body before you had a chance to end him, but instead he was hurled back into the Aether. It will take some time before he can once again return to the mortal realm. What is an ethereal, really? We were the servants of the primordial gods, but when our makers grew jealous of one another, we became soldiers in a cataclysmic war. Countless creations were eradicated by the ensuing conflict. Countless millennia of our work erased in a flicker of godly anger. But none of that compared to the day one side chose to harness the darkness of the void in a desperate bid for victory. The results were catastrophic, and our masters were cut down or scattered to the far reaches of creation. Yeah, so this is referring to the war between the gods, mostly against Chthon, because they wanted his power to create, I think. Maybe it wasn't just Chthon, maybe there were other gods that were on his side. And the result of that, of Chthon using void energies to fight the other gods and wound them, is what led to some of the stuff we saw in Forgotten Gods, like Korvac and Ulzuin returning wounded and needing to gather their strength and becoming reclusive, which then allowed, for example, Bismiel to gain control of Ulzuin and, in the end, for the three gods to overthrow Korvac while he was recovering. We, the most loyal servants, were banished to the Aether for the simple crime of serving without question. There, stripped of our physical forms, we were forced to wander the emptiness of the stars for all eternity. The scars inflicted upon us by the Void's minions still burning deep. That is, until we encountered humans. There are other worlds? A human mind cannot even begin to comprehend the countless worlds and realities that exist beyond your own. Though how many still remain after the wanton destruction inflicted upon creation during the War of the Gods, That is difficult to say. What changed when you found us? Human ingenuity and greed. Your base desires to seek out power are only matched by your ability to adapt and manifest that power in impressive displays. It was the reckless actions of the first Arcanists that drew us to this world, and it was our whispers that taught your people how to first step into the limitless potential of the Aether. All it took was a push in the right direction. We had to be patient, but eventually enough of us were able to breach the veil and take matter into our own hands and prepare for the glorious dawn that would see all ethereals return to the physical realm. But our actions were not without consequence. Though Chthonian worship was not a new prospect in Cairn, desperate humans made willing allies for the powers of Chthon, and so an old enemy has returned to haunt us, and may well spell the doom of us all. I am well aware of your accomplishments in the necropolis, but do not think for a moment that the void has been beaten. It hungers for blood, and the more we slaughter one another, the more Chthon's power will grow. Do you know anything about the ethereal that possessed me? I'm afraid not. Based on your history, it is clear that it survived the hanging. It is quite rare for an ethereal to die when the host perishes. The one that claimed you is still out there. Of that you can be certain. Then I will find it. And I'm not wrong. I will find it. Soon-ish, in fact. So that is a whole bunch of lore on the ethereals. That explains almost everything that we were wondering. And next I said I'm gonna do the secret quest, or at least part of it, so I can recraft another sword. First I'm gonna get rid of this stuff in my inventory, because I will probably be picking stuff up, and in the meantime I'm gonna rack my brain
Come see what's left of my wares.
if I remember all of the locations. I remember at least 3 off the top of my head. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. I might be blanking on 1. I don't think I need to save Locksmere's swords. I don't believe I found any double rares, right? So I can just sell everything. This I need to not sell. Although I believe you can come back there and reclaim it. If you do sell it. This can all go. Blade arm, it's not the Wraith arm. That one's also interesting. More warrants. I didn't find any more pieces of the Apocalypton set, so I don't have to look over these legendaries. Wait, Veil Gorger, that's a new crossbow, right? Interesting, so they created a new epic crossbow, but it doesn't have a legendary version. I'm sure that's gonna change over time as they add more.
Put it to good
Okay,
use.
this goes in the stash. In the papers. I have another one. I don't. Okay. Oh, and there's the double rare medal that I wanted to save. Okay, I can maybe turn back the dread back on if I feel like it, but probably not gonna be doing much fighting anyway. I should also make a modification to my potions just for a moment, maybe. Oh, let's not. Fuck it. I'll survive it. So, the first place we need to go to is in Sodden Hollow. So, take the Whitemire Rift. We need to find the place where Isaac was sacrificed. The guy who then told us to go pick up his stash hidden beneath a stump. If you're starting a new character, that will usually be where you find your first shoulder piece. I'm gonna do this while I'm here, maybe get some Ashes of Awakening. Age of Sanity, nice. Yeah, so this is not the cellar, this is where Martin Hart is. Is his name Martin? I think so. No, Milton Hart. Okay, this is the ritual place. In the cellar, down here. Let me in. down here. This didn't used to be here. This has been added with this expansion. You go around here. There's a rowboat. It was always here, but you couldn't click on it. Now you can. This rowboat will take you to Hargate's other isle, which is a carbon copy of the main isle that you go to resolve Kasparov's quest about the Slith and Hargate's notes. Nothing special in here. There's not even a dungeon in here, but in the place of the dungeon, there's an urn cluster. You break it, and there is Shadowheart. That is part 1 of 6. So, where's the rest? Next one is Old Arkovia. You go to Old Harbor or New Harbor. Never remember which it is. New Harbor. Is that a double rare? Oh, it's just an Exalted Arbalest. Doesn't matter. If you go here, you can go behind this house somehow. Can I even enter it? Come on. Okay, behind this house, another urn cluster. Another version of... Now it's misspelled in a different way. That is part 6 of 6, so they're kind of out of order. The next one is in Smuggler's Pass. Now, funnily enough, when I was here first on this character, I did mention, like, wouldn't it be funny if they started hiding stuff in these Aether areas? Because players who have played for a long time know this is a death trap. You just run in there, take a bunch of damage, realize there's nothing there, and you have to run back. And sometimes you just die. Well, they did. You run to the ends, there's an Earth Cluster, there's another sword. So, now we have 4. Number 5 is... Hang on, let me think. Wait, is that really all I remember? No, that can't be. I knew one more, now I'm blanking on it. Ah, shit, I might have to look it up. Yeah, I guess I have to look it up, because I'm blanking on the rest right now. I do know which thread it's in. Okay, up here. You can find all this on the forums, by the way. Okay. Shadowheart. This is the wrong thread. This is the right thread. Okay, original post. Forging Shadowheart. It's number 1. Number 2 I have. Oh yeah, number 3 is in Gryver's Mill. So, that's Bloodgrove. That one I would not have remembered. That's for sure. Gryver's Mill. It's not a Tempest Totem, but I might clear it while I'm here. Hang on, am I looking at the right location exactly? Oh yeah, it's down here. Somewhere. Am I too far south? It's not in here. Am I looking at the right location? It's next to a house. Oh, the house is up here. Okay. Too far south. In here. This wasn't here before. And there's this one. I am gonna clear the totem because that could be more Ashes of Awakening. It is. God Smasher, Sign of Arcane Force that can only drop from totems. And the last one that I'm missing... Oh, crap, I cannot get to that one. It's in the boss fight, in the final boss fight of Ashes of Malmeth. So okay, that one I'm gonna do once we get there. I'm gonna keep these swords in the inventory so that I don't forget. And that's gonna be it. So I'm gonna go back to the Coven, put my stuff in the stash, and on Monday we're going to finally move on. We didn't make it far because I was partially stuck fighting the Dread and also had to reattempt Fort Valbury one extra time. So next we are going to go to the Ancient Grove. We don't have to go there, but we do kind of have a side quest to go there for the Noctukari faction, which we don't really need to complete because I already bought everything from the Noctukari on a different character and it's all account-wide. But since I already have the quest, might as well. I'm gonna go into the dungeon anyway, one way or another. And then we're going to finally continue northward, get the parts of the Bargol route and stuff like that we need to complete the final quest of Fangs of Esterkarn. I'm not gonna go immediately to Fangs of Esterkarn because one more thing that I want to do is reach Barrowholm, because I need to buy their augments to increase my health, so that hopefully I can fight the Dread without getting absolutely stomped by accidental one-shots. So yeah, that's gonna be the plan, but it's going to continue on Monday. I'm not gonna be streaming on weekends anymore. That was just for the first week because, well, game came out on Thursday, so I'm not gonna wait until Monday to continue playing it. And I hope to see you there, same time, 9 o'clock CET. Have a good weekend in the meantime, and good night or good afternoon wherever you are, and bye-bye.